bring 'em out, bring 'em out. Hey.
The following sports special is a broadcast presentation of Talk Radio WRNR Martinsburg.
Dear Lord, the battles we go through life.
Dear Lord, the battles we go through life.
We ask for a chance is fair.
We ask for a chance is fair.
Chance to equal our strife.
Chance to equal our strife.
Chance to do it there.
Chance to do it there.
We should win.
We should win.
Let it be by the code.
Let it be by the code.
Faith and honor held high.
Faith and honor held high.
We should lose.
We should lose.
Stand by the road.
Stand by the road.
Cheers, the winners go by.
Cheers, the winners go by.
Day by day.
Day by day.
We get better and better.
We get better and better.
So we can't beat.
We can't beat.
Woo, beat.
Who let the dogs out?
It's time for the excitement of West Virginia high school football, featuring the AAA Martinsburg Bulldogs. To get you ready for today's play-by-play action, we'll bring you interviews, in-depth analysis, and important game information on the pregame show. So let's get things started by going to the stadium and join our Talk Radio WRNR broadcast team.
And a very pleasant good evening, everyone. Welcome into Terry L. Marcus Stadium. We are in Charlestown, West Virginia, on the campus of Washington High School, where on this Friday night in high school football action, it is an EPAC showdown as the Washington Patriots entertain the Martinsburg Bulldogs. For Talk Radio, WRNR and TV 10 Sports, I'm Matt Miller along with Matt Crawford, John Alderton on our main camera. We'll have Maria Morris on our sideline camera with Kira Anderson running our on-site production back at the studio. A pair of producers as we've got Donald Kinney and Colin McLaughlin. Colin will be joining us at the half and in our post-game with our halftime and post-game scoreboard shows. Well, Matt, as we preview this matchup, it's interesting as the way this COVID season has played out. Martinsburg comes into week 5 of the season having played just 2 games, a record of 1 win and 1 loss.
Yeah, this is a team that coming into the game, obviously the last time they were out, it was a record-breaking day, if you will. Snapped a 57-game win streak, the second longest in the entire country, but against a very, very good Spring Valley team, one of, if not the best team in AAA. So they're coming in wanting to get a new streak going. They played a good game. Unfortunately, it was one of those games where somebody had to win, somebody had to lose. This is a very talented Martinsburg team. Again, if not the best team in AAA, one of the best teams in AAA across the state. Looking forward to see them back out on the field tonight.
Well, and you talk about them being one of those top teams. You look at their early matchups, and it's been against 2 of the best. A win over Musselman in week 1, which was back on the 11th of September, 51-33, the final in that one. And 1 week later, it was Spring Valley coming to town and snapping that 57-game Bulldog winning streak. 22-20 was the final. They wanted to get on the field last week, but just could not find an opponent, even with the COVID situation in counties around the state, so they had to sit on it. I'm anxious to see how they come out and respond tonight.
Well, when you look at those first 2 games, and maybe not a level of play-wise, but style of play-wise, they're prepared for what this Washington team is going to do. Washington is a run-first football team. 23 rushing touchdowns this year. Have not found a touchdown in the air. They run that single wing very, very well, and it's gotten better and better as this season has gone on. And the 2 prior games, obviously, Blake Harbin, Caleb Hardy, and Musselman, Nixon Moore like to run the football. You look at Spring Valley, they loved to run the football, even though at the end of the game it was a pass that really was the demise for Martinsburg in that contest. But they have seen 2 run-heavy football teams, and Washington is going to be no different with Tommy Wogan, with Bryson Fleming, and with quarterback Frankie Amore here tonight.
Well, and they have had success as well. 2 wins and 2 losses on this season. And, Matt, an offense that is racking up the points, 41.5 points per game, as they have put more than 40 on the board in 3 of their 4 contests. Even in a loss to Kaiser, able to score 35, and in a loss to Spring Mills, scored 42 in that one.
And I think this is going to be obviously the toughest challenge that Washington has faced so far. And I think the big question in this game is going to be, what can that Washington defense do to stop Martinsburg? This is a Washington team that, while they're scoring an awful lot, have had trouble slowing down opposing offenses. So that's going to be one of the big things to watch in this game, is what can that defense do against an explosive Martinsburg offense.
Overall, they're giving up 29 points a game. When you're scoring 41, that sounds good. The problem is, in their 2 wins, They gave up only 6 against Berkeley Springs and shut out Hedgesville. In the 2 losses, 55 points allowed to both Spring Mills and Kaiser. So a lot of those points coming in 2 games, and this is the type of game they can't let get to that type of scoring.
Yeah, they're a team that's going to score 35, 40 points a game, so they're going to have to keep Martinsburg under that. And while Spring Valley was able to keep Martinsburg relatively low scoring, nothing against Washington, but they don't quite have the defense that Spring Valley does. So it's going to be a tall task here tonight.
All right, there you go. That's our matchup. The Washington Patriots hosting the Martinsburg Bulldogs from here in Charlestown. Our pregame show brought to you by W. Harley Miller Systems. They provide custom integration services for home and office automation, home theater, networking, audio, video distribution, and more. Phone them at 304-350-1931 or find them online at WHMsystems.com. We'll see what else is going on around the Eastern Panhandle Athletic Conference. Up next, it's the check of the area schedule. First, a 2-minute timeout. It's West Virginia High School football on Talk Radio WRNRN TV 10.
W. Harley Miller Systems understands the need and desire for reliable and affordable smart home solutions. Secure your home with a security system and keep a close eye on your family. Automate your home with a Control4 system and have smart technology work as one. Set daily schedules to control your thermostats. Push a button and set the mood for dinner by dimming lights and playing music, or just sit back and enjoy a movie in your own home theater. Put decades of experience to work for you. Visit us at WHMsystems.com or call 304-350-1931.
Pete Dougherty will put Berkeley and Jefferson County first in the state Senate. Dougherty has spent 4 decades fighting for our children, seniors, and veterans while keeping the Eastern Panhandle safe from crime. As your senator, Dougherty will fight back against the Charleston establishment, ensure that police have the funding needed to protect our communities, repair our crumbling infrastructure and high-speed internet, and be a champion for public education. On November 3rd, let's tell Charleston there's a new sheriff in town. Vote Pete Dougherty for state senate.
John Perdue never dreamed he'd go to college, let alone become one of the best state treasurers. John Perdue brought back financial integrity and transparency to the treasurer's office. He created the highly successful Smart 529 College Savings Program, and under his watch has returned more than $230 million in unclaimed property. He's created the 457 Retirement Program and WV Able, and his Board of Treasury Investments has the highest rating from Standard & Poor's.
I'm John Perdue, and I've never forgotten that I worked for you.
Our dad taught us a lot about the law, but he taught us even more about life and people. He taught us to treat clients like family. At the Skinner Law Firm, the firm our father started here in the Eastern Panhandle, we still believe that.
We also believe that everyone has the right to be protected from those who don't play by the rules.
We believe it's about helping people. Call us at the Skinner Law Firm, where we treat you like family.
We welcome you back to the W. Harley Miller Systems pregame show. Time now for the check of the area schedule, and brought to you by Rock's Country Markets, fast, fresh, friendly. There are 3 other games tonight involving EPAC teams. Let's get it started with a league matchup as Spring Mills will visit Hedgesville. The Cardinals at 3-1 are trying to bounce back from their first loss of the season, falling at Frankfort last week in overtime 21-20. Head coach Josh Sims says this matchup against a winless Hedgesville team is more about them and getting back on track.
It's just getting back to the basics with us. Friday night, we definitely got sloppy at times, and that's what ended up biting us. So for this week, us going into Hedgesville, we're just going to try to play our game and be fundamentally sound.
Hedgesville is coming off a 49-0 loss against Washington, dropping them to 0-4 on the season. Head coach Matt Faircloth says a key against Spring Mills is no surprise. You have to find a way to slow down quarterback Keon Padmore Johnson.
Well, there's one thing about him. I mean, he can throw it really well, and his legs extend plays. And he's got really good speed. But I mean, the big thing for them is, it's not just him. They got the McCarron kid. He's a really good receiver, and their line up front execute their blocks. And on defense, they rally and tackle. And biggest thing for us is we got to trust what we do and get better each week at what we do.
Spring Mills won last year's matchup 28-20. Tonight's game at Moomaw Stadium kicks off at 7 p.m. Musselman is on the road yet again this week. It is their 5th straight road contest to open the season. They are off to a 3-1 start, having won at Fairmont Senior last week 42-21. This week it's a matchup in Morgantown against the Mohegans, who have yet to play this season because of the COVID virus and the color map system. Morgantown is under the leadership of new head coach Sean Beiser, who had been at Kaiser. For Musselman coach Brian Thomas, he says you've got to look back into the past to get ready for this one.
You know what he did at Kaiser, also, what he did at Hampshire. He's a wing T guy, kind of knowing what he does a little bit. At the same point, we're kind of used to this a little bit where we just kind of got to come out and trust what we do and trust in our game plan, and hopefully, that'll work out again for us.
When these teams met a year ago, it was Musselman getting the victory 35-0. Tonight's game at Pony Lewis Field kicks off at 7. And the Frankfort Falcons will look to make it back-to-back wins against Eastern Panhandle AAA teams when they play tonight at Jefferson. The Falcons are 4-0 after that overtime win against Spring Mills last week. Meanwhile, Jefferson comes in off of a bye. They're at 1 win and 2 losses on the season. Head coach Craig Hunter of the Cougars says the bye was good and hopefully has them prepared for what will be a tough test against Frankfort.
They fly to the football, and they're aggressive. So, we just got to try to match their aggression with our aggression and be technical on our plays and have our technique ready to go. And when we got opportunities to complete passes, catch the ball, things of that nature. I think if we can do those things, we should be able to move the ball and everything will take care of itself.
These teams did not meet last year. Tonight's kickoff at Cougar Stadium is set for 7 p.m. Our matchup tonight in Charlestown has the Washington Patriots at 2-2, hosting the 1-1 Martinsburg Bulldogs, and we'll continue to preview that matchup on our W. Harley Miller Systems pregame show. That does it for the check of the area schedule, brought to you by Rocks Country Markets, fast, fresh, friendly. This is West Virginia High School football on Talk Radio WRNR and TV 10.
I'm Storm Shiley Frame, and I'm running to serve the 66th District in the West Virginia House of Delegates. Homegrown in Jefferson County, wife, mother, teacher, and realtor, I understand what the 66th District needs. Investment for safer roads, dependable broadband internet, quality public education, and common sense legislation to attract responsible businesses and protect our natural resources. My opponent, Paul Espinosa, seems to think his job is to protect corporations instead of the interests of the people he represents. I'm Storm Shiley Frame. I can't be bought, and as your delegate, I will work for you.
Looking to buy a home in the Eastern Panhandle? Having trouble getting your house sold? Then call Chris Ross and the Milestone Real Estate Group at Keller Williams. A Martinsburg High School graduate, Chris knows the local market, and he's proven it as the #1 real estate team in West Virginia in 2019. Milestone Real Estate Group at Keller Williams. Phone 304-579-7349 or go to callchrisross.com. Let's celebrate your real estate milestone together.
If you need to speak with a lawyer about an insurance claim or motor vehicle wreck, at Mansion Ferretti we rely on 100 years of combined personal injury and trial experience to win your case. There is no charge for meeting with us, and there is no fee unless we win. Mansion Ferretti excels because we are local, experienced in our courts, and always working hard to develop the personal relationship with clients that makes a difference. Call us at 304-264-8505 or go to wvjusticelawyers.com. At Mansion Ferretti, it's about seeking justice for you.
Orsini's, not just an appliance store anymore. They're your one-stop resource for all home needs, whether it's custom kitchen design, countertops, or cabinets, or check out their new sleep studio with Tempur-Pedic, Sealy, and Stearns & Foster. For all of your outdoor living needs, Orsini's has Gladiator Garage Works, Traeger grills, barbecue accessories, barbecue rubs and sauces, and every flavor wood pellets. Visit their brand new 8,200 square foot showroom at 360 Hack Wilson Way, 304-267-7251, Orsinis.com. And we welcome you back into the W. Harley Miller Systems pregame show on TV 10, presented by Democrat John Perdue, running for re-election as state treasurer. Along with Matt Crawford, I'm Matt Miller, and let's begin our breakdown of these two teams with the visitors. Tonight, it's the Martinsburg Bulldogs here at Washington to take on the Patriots. And Matt, one of the things that we're not accustomed to seeing is a Martinsburg defense giving up the yards and points that they have so far through their first two games, allowing 27.5 points a game, and opponents have averaged 329.5 yards, including 306 on the ground.
Well, I think you look at those numbers and you look at, again, who they played in their first two games, not taking anything away from some of the first games in years past, but Eastern, Woodson, some of the other first games they played haven't quite been the talent of the – I mean, you're talking about two of the best teams in AAA in those first 2 weeks in Musselman and in Spring Valley. So I think those numbers will come drastically down as the season goes on, but I wouldn't worry about the high numbers to this point. And those numbers aren't bad necessarily. It's just you go through that 57-game win streak, and over the last 10 years, Martinsburg players, fans, coaches have been a little spoiled as to how low those numbers have been.
Well, and spoiled by a lot of returning players on both sides of the football. And for Martinsburg this year, not as many back on that defensive side. They've got about 8 new guys, including some very young guys in that lineup.
Yeah, but those young guys have even stepped up as the year, in the small sample size we've seen, but in the 2 games we've seen, those guys have stepped up. You look at that Spring Valley game, and to keep what was that really, I shouldn't say explosive because you think passing the football when you say that, but that dominant offense kept them to just 22 points.
Yep.
So this defense, while they're young, they'll get more experience as this season goes on. And right now, I've been pretty darn impressed with what I've seen from a very young defense.
Meanwhile, it's a Bulldog offense that is putting about 35.5 points a game on the scoreboard and averaging 428 total yards a game. The big thing is when you look at the breakdown, 261.5 rushing, about 166.5 passing, haven't quite been as balanced as maybe what we've seen in the past.
And I think you look at the inexperience in the varsity level of the quarterback position. You look at Peyton Curry, while he is experienced at the high school level, not necessarily on Friday nights. You look at Kevon Warren, who got some time taking snaps in those first couple of games. We were talking to him. You'll hear this a little bit later. He hasn't played quarterback since about 7th grade. So you look at, again, that number I think is going to go up as Warren gets some more snaps and as Peyton Curry gets some more snaps against, again, teams that don't have 2 of the best defenses in the entire state.
Certainly Martinsburg, once again this year, filled with athletes, which will present a challenge tonight for this Washington football team.
Yeah, Anthony Smith, one of the best overall football players in the state. I think that everybody from around the state could agree with that. What he does offensively, his size and speed, that combo, very, very deadly. And I'm not sure whether we're going to see Jarvis Thurston tonight. I know he was bothered with a little bit of a bruise talking with Britt Sherman earlier in the week, but still a lot of speed on the outside.
Well, we will see what that Martinsburg offense can do and whether this defense can slow down a very slippery and challenging single-wing offense for the Washington Patriots. We'll take a deeper look at them a little later on in our W. Harley Miller Systems pregame show. Up next, we send it back to the studio. It's a 2-minute timeout and then a chance to go in the end zone as we hear from Britt Sherman, the Martinsburg head coach. This is the pregame brought to you by W. Harley Miller Systems, providing custom integration services for home and office automation, home theater networking, audio, video distribution, and more. They're online at WHMsystems.com. This is West Virginia High School Football on Talk Radio, WRNR and TV 10.
Erie Insurance says here's to the grown-ups who move, mortgage, mow, and still bust a move. But does your home insurance still fit? Erie helps you protect the home you've grown into, all at fair prices that are often less than the other guys. So how do you find the right coverage? Magic. Nope. Local independent agents who get to know you like this.
Your local Erie agent in Martinsburg is Smallwood & Small Insurance. Get a quote at smallwoodandsmall.com.
Erie Insurance.
I'm Natalie Tennant. As West Virginians, we'll get through this crisis together. We've been knocked down before, and we get back up. I've been there with you, and I'll be there again working for a better future like I did as Secretary of State. By modernizing the office, I saved you money and gave it back, lowered fees and helped businesses create jobs, and made voting easier. We need that kind of leadership again. It takes courage, vision, and cooperation. I know we can do this, West Virginia. I believe in you.
The Palace Lounge in Martinsburg offers hand-cut, locally sourced steaks, fresh seafood, and sandwiches with great daily specials like 75-cent wings all day Monday, prime rib on Tuesday, New York strip on Wednesday, and chef specials every Friday and Saturday. Ask for the lunch punch card and have lunch on the Palace Lounge on Edwin Miller Boulevard. And don't forget the Big Apple Lounge on Sater Drive in Inwood.
With 4 new car dealerships and 4 used car dealerships in 3 states, Parsons is the largest used car and fastest growing new car dealer in the tri-state area. Take Parsons Ford with huge savings on hundreds of new Fords, financing from 0%, Parsons' goal of financing for all, and Parsons' famous above-market trade-in allowances that help make Parsons #1 for used cars too. See why so many won't buy anywhere but Parsons Ford in Martinsburg. We became #1 by making you #1 first. Parsons.
We welcome you back to the W. Harley Miller Systems pregame show, coming your way now from in the end zone as we talk with Martinsburg head coach Britt Sherman. Our conversation brought to you by Parsons Ford. They're on Shepherdstown Road just outside of Martinsburg. They became #1 by making you #1 first, Parsons. Coach, it's good to be talking on a game week. I know that you didn't plan a bye last week. It's just the way that the season has played out. Give us an idea of what you were able to do with that time off.
It was a good time off. You know, we wanted to play a game. We want to play a game every week, but it's just not the way it worked out. And but we got back to the basics, did some fundamentals, and got some really good work in, and then had a little fun at the end of the week. Did a little draft and split into 2 different teams and played a little scrimmage.
Coming off the tough loss against Spring Valley, was it a hard week not to be on the field, or did it actually turn out to be a good week to work on some things?
Well, I mean, it was tough not having another game just to, you know, get back at it. But, you know, there's definitely some things we needed to work on. And, you know, we have an inexperienced group in some places. And, you know, it was good to just get back to some of the basics, some of the fundamentals. You know, I felt like the first couple of weeks we rushed into game plans and you know, we could only work on a certain amount of stuff because we were really prepping for 2 really good teams. And I think we kind of got back to what we would have been doing in camp if we would have actually been practicing.
What has the response been for this team, for these players, coming off of that loss? It's something a lot of these guys have not experienced in quite a long time. How have they come out and gotten it done in practice to show they're ready to get back in the win column?
Well, you know, they haven't experienced that, and you know, it's good to be humbled every once in a while. And you know, I think now they understand that you have to go out and make plays and not make mistakes. I mean, wins don't just come. You know, you have to earn wins. And, you know, I think we've refocused a lot and, you know, got back to things that we've needed to focus on in practice, doing the little things right, and just practicing hard with some intensity. And, you know, I think they understand that now.
With everything that you guys went through just to get this season underway, then you come out and arguably play 2 of the top teams that are in the state in Class AAA. Is that going to bode well for you, though, down the stretch, do you think, starting out with those 2 tough teams?
I think so. I mean, we want to play the best competition we can play. And, you know, that's why we've always talked about area football getting better and, you know, the EPAC teams and everybody, you know, having good games with that, because the better we all are, you know, the better we'll be rolling into the playoffs.
You mentioned getting better. Give us an idea of how you see this Washington football team getting better as you get ready to face these Patriots.
Well, they run the ball hard, and, you know, they run a really sophisticated little offense with their single wing stuff, and you know, they just do a good job at what they do. And you know, their kids play hard and run hard, and defensively they do what they need to do to try to, you know, keep you from scoring points.
You've faced 2 teams already that like to run the football. Does that help you going into this one, or is it totally different because of that offense they run?
Well, I think it helps us, you know, seeing 2 running teams and then playing another running team. You know, we run a spread, and then, you know, in camp, kind of not knowing exactly what was going to go on with who you were going to play. You don't want to start game prep for week 1 4 weeks early, but, at this point we maybe should have done that, because we've seen all these running teams, and we've played against each other, which was a spread team, all through camp, and then now it's been ground and pound for a month.
Well, we wish you all the best in this one, Coach. Thank you for your time.
Thank you, Matt.
There you go, Martinsburg head coach Britt Sherman joining us from here in the end zone. Our conversation brought to you by Parsons Ford on Shepherdstown Road, just outside of Martinsburg. They became number one by making you number one first. Parsons. We've got more of the W. Harley Miller Systems pregame show coming up. It's West Virginia high school football on Talk Radio, WRNR and TV 10.
Pete Dougherty will put Berkeley and Jefferson County first in the state Senate. Dougherty has spent 4 decades fighting for our children, seniors, and veterans while keeping the Eastern Panhandle safe from crime. As your senator, Dougherty will fight back against the Charleston establishment, ensure that police have the funding needed to protect our communities, repair our crumbling infrastructure and high-speed internet, and be a champion for public education. On November 3rd, let's tell Charleston there's a new sheriff in town. Vote Pete Dougherty for state Senate.
Like a successful football team, when it comes to choosing an effective representative in Charleston, experience matters. First elected in 2012, Delegate Paul Espinosa is the experienced, fiscally conservative voice Jefferson County needs, standing up for the issues we care about. In this crucial election year, when residents of the 66th District cast their vote for House of Delegates, the choice is clear. Re-elect Paul Espinosa. Paid for by Espinosa for Delegate, Mary C. Espinosa, Treasurer.
Energy is something you never really think about, even though you use it every day. With Roach Energy's no run-out guarantee and 24-hour customer support, that's just the way we like it. So when you think about it, call Roach Energy for all your oil and propane needs. Ask about our pre-buy and budget programs. Roach Energy, 304-262-4271.
We're back once again here at Terry L. Marcus Stadium on the campus of Washington High School in Charlestown, West Virginia, continuing with our W. Harley Miller Systems pregame show. Matt Miller and Matt Crawford with you, John Alderton and Maria Amores running our cameras. If we can get our sideline camera together, having some issues here in our pregame show. Matt's working hard to try to get that taken care of. Kira Anderson is our on-site producer. Donald Kinney and Colin McLaughlin, our studio engineers. Well, Matt, we've talked a little about Martinsburg as the visiting team. Let's turn our attention to the home team. It is the Washington Patriots coming in at 2 wins, 2 losses on the season, and fresh off of a 49-0 win against Hedgesville. It's a team that in this second year of running the single wing style of offense has really put it together offensively.
Yeah, they have, and it's fun to watch. This is one of those offenses, while you like watching big plays and Martinsburg scoring almost at will in seasons past is fun to watch. Watching a complex offense like the single wing and seeing the offensive linemen pulling and some of those counters and crisscrosses in the backfield, seeing those bust off 8, 9, 10 yards a play, or even those long runs. We've seen Frankie Amore bust a couple of those throughout this season. It's just fun to watch those plays develop, and you can see, because we were at the very first game they ran that single wing last year, the Thursday night game to open the season against Hedgesville, and you looked at it and went, they're not running this all that bad for this being the first year of this offense, and to have an entire season of that under their belt. And to be where they are at this point in the season, they're getting more and more comfortable. We saw that in week 1 when they played Spring Mills. They didn't get the win in that one, but we saw a good offensive performance in this single wing. And I think that's going to be key for them tonight, is to be able to hold the football to keep them in the game, use some of that clock, put together longer drives. And I think from what we've seen this year, they have the offense to do that.
Yeah, each of these possessions offensively for Washington will be key tonight because they're going to need all the points that they can get when you consider what Martinsburg is able to do. Although, Matt, what you're talking about, if this Washington team can take a little bit of a page out of the book of Spring Valley, control that football and limit the possessions, and they can give themselves a chance.
Yeah, and I think that's going to be key. I think, unfortunately, the thing we're going to be watching the most on is that defense, because I think the offense is going to do what it's continued to do. Maybe not as high of a point output as we've seen from them so far this year, but I'm going to be watching that defense just because they have had trouble other than that shutout against what is a rebuilding Hedgesville team. This has been a defense that has struggled in keeping up with opposing offenses. The size, not necessarily an issue on that defensive line, but the corners and safeties and linebacking core has just had problems keeping up with speed, taking the good angles of pursuit. And unfortunately, speed is not something you can teach. You either have it or you don't.
Yeah, and that's one thing that is hard to deal with. If you don't have it, it's going to be key. All your techniques, all your angles, and, of course, the team corralling that guy with the football. Can't let him get into an open lane. Another element to keep an eye on, Matt, is as this one plays out, look at the roster for Washington. 27 total players with 10 seniors, 11 juniors, and 6 sophomores. That is not a lot of depth for this team against a Martinsburg team that has 60 on the varsity roster. That includes 18 seniors, 15 juniors, 22 sophomores, and 5 freshmen. But don't think that some of those sophomores and freshmen aren't on the field for Martinsburg. They've got some young guys out there as well.
Yeah, they do. And again, I'm going to be interested to see what those young guys were able to learn from those first 2 games and bring into this game, because looking at the Washington offense, they're experienced. This is not the first go-around for a lot of this offense of the Patriots. So, again, this is not going to be a cakewalk for the Martinsburg defense to go up against a single wing. Washington runs it awful well.
Trying to find a way to get by these Martinsburg Bulldogs. This will be the 13th meeting since Washington High School opened all the way back in what would have been 2008. And, well, when you look at it, 2008, I can't even read my own notes from this vantage point. Nonetheless, one that they're still trying to get over the top is Martinsburg 12-0 in this series.
Yeah, and not sure that streak is going to break today. Again, I think this is going to be one of the better opportunities they have. You look back at the playoff season back in 2013 for Washington. That was a good opportunity. I think they have a good opportunity tonight as well. So just, again, got to play 4 quarters of football. Got to try to take some time off the clock. And in years past when it's been more of a spread offense, again, last year was a single wing. When you've had a spread offense, it usually gave Martinsburg the ball back pretty darn quick. This is going to be an opportunity for them to slow things down, put together drives, try to put some points on the board, and try to keep the ball out of the offense of Martinsburg.
As I come to the sideline, Coach says, hey, trust your instincts, man. Trust your instincts. It was 2008, the first year for this Washington program. 2-8 that season, coming off of a 3-7 campaign a year ago. Right now, 2-2, hosting the 1-1 Martinsburg Bulldogs. It's the W. Harley Miller Systems pregame show, presented on TV 10 by Democrat John Perdue, running for re-election as state treasurer. Well, coming up next, a chance to hear from Glenn Simpson, head coach of these Washington Patriots. And following that, we'll go in the huddle as we hear from one player from each team. I'm anxious to hear what they are thinking heading into this one. We'll find that out next as we continue with West Virginia High School football on Talk Radio WRNR TV 10.
John Perdue never dreamed he'd go to college, let alone become one of the best state treasurers. John Perdue brought back financial integrity and transparency to the treasurer's office. He created the highly successful Smart 529 College Savings Program, and under his watch has returned more than $230 million in unclaimed property. He's created the 457 Retirement Program and WV Able, and his Board of Treasury Investments has the highest rating from Standard & Poor's.
I'm John Perdue, and I've never forgotten that I worked for you.
Trash, because when it comes to trash, you have options. Panhandle Dumpsters is a local family-owned garbage hauling company serving both residential and commercial customers with weekly trash pickup, dumpster service, yard waste pickup, and bulk pickups too. Panhandle Dumpsters will give you a free trash can and provide curbside service for just $23 a month. Panhandle Dumpsters features a fleet of quieter, eco-friendly garbage trucks, thereby reducing the noise usually associated with pickup. Switch now and save up to 30%. Call 833-DUMP-STR, panhandledumpsters.com.
I am Lene Johnson, running for Jefferson County Commissioner. We all want our community to thrive through collaboration, inclusion, identifying common goals, and steering resources to where they are needed most. We can build a healthy environment and a more dynamic and productive economy for Jefferson County. It's important to reach constituents with factual, believable, and transparent information. When voters are informed, they act. When they act, we all win. Vote November the 3rd, Lene Johnson for Jefferson County Commissioner.
Paid for by candidate.
Former Charlestown City Council member Wayne Clark is running for the West Virginia 65th House of Delegates District. A local entrepreneur, Wayne Clark is best known as the owner and manager of Locust Hill Golf Course since 2014. He understands the importance of improving education, fighting the opioid crisis, and fostering small business and entrepreneurship. Find out more on his Facebook page at Clark for Delegate. Wayne Clark is looking for your support in the upcoming November 3rd general election. Paid for by candidate.
And we welcome you back into the W. Harley Miller Systems pregame show. It's time to talk with home head coach for this week, and it's Washington Patriot head coach Glenn Simpson. This portion of the pregame show brought to you by Parsons Ford. They're located on Shepherdstown Pike, just outside of Martinsburg. They became number one by making you number one first. Parsons. Coach, coming off of a very good game last time out against Hedgesville, what did you see out of your Patriot squad?
Well, I saw a lot of the things that we put on the practice field. I saw it show up in the game film for one of the few times this year, particularly on our defense. And so it was very encouraging to see the growth and maturity of our football team playing a team like Hedgesville.
When you look at a team like Hedgesville and look at maybe not quite at that level, but you guys were there a few years ago. There's been that building blocks. Is it nice to compare yourself to a team like that that's in that rebuilding process and see how far you've come?
Well, I don't know that necessarily that there's a comparison there. But we do take pride in the strides that we have made. The talent that has grown with this program and the way that they have attacked building this program. You know, they have as much ownership of this thing as I do and the coaching staff does. So, you know, we're just very proud of what we've been able to do thus far in the early season. Look forward to the rest of it.
Early season so far, but nearing that midpoint, how would you assess how your team has done? Pretty much that 500 mark, but how would you assess where you're at this point of the season?
We still got a long way to go. We got, you know, we're a small team in terms of numbers, and we still got a lot to work on, a lot of things to button down, and that good football teams do. You know, we need to improve in those areas, and hopefully at the end of this thing, we'll be a good enough football team.
How much, if any, do you pay attention to the playoff rankings at this point in the season?
None. I don't care about them yet. We got a long way to go before anybody can start laying claim to anything, including seeding in the playoffs. So, you know, we strive to go 1-0 each week, and that's our goal every week. And so we don't get beyond this week's game.
Martinsburg tonight, obviously a tough opponent, one of the best AAA teams in the state. What do you see in the Bulldogs this year?
I see Bulldog football. You know, things change. The more they change, the more they stay the same. I see, you know, exceptional athletes on the perimeter and in the backfield, speed for days. I see big, strong offensive and defensive lines, very quick and athletic. They are, you know, they're still one of the top teams in the state, no doubt about it. We're just the fortunate ones to get to come off the streak-ending loss to Spring Valley.
Well, Coach, thanks for the time and good luck tonight.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Washington Patriot head coach Glenn Simpson, part of the W. Harley Miller Systems pregame show. This portion of the pregame show brought to you by Parsons Ford. They're located on Shepherdstown Pike, just outside of Martinsburg. They became number one by making you number one first. Parsons. Back with more of the pregame show next. This is West Virginia High School football on Talk Radio WRNR and TV 10.
I'm Storm Shiley Frame, and I'm running to serve the 66th District in the West Virginia House of Delegates. Homegrown in Jefferson County, wife, mother, teacher, and realtor, I understand what the 66th District needs. Investment for safer roads, dependable broadband internet, quality public education, and common sense legislation to attract responsible businesses and protect our natural resources. My opponent, Paul Espinosa, seems to think his job is to protect corporations instead of the interests of the people he represents. I'm Storm Shiley Frame. I can't be bought, and as your delegate, I will work for you.
Looking to buy a home in the Eastern Panhandle? Having trouble getting your house sold? Then call Chris Ross and the Milestone Real Estate Group at Keller Williams. A Martinsburg High School graduate, Chris knows the local market, and he's proven it as the #1 real estate team in West Virginia in 2019. Milestone Real Estate Group at Keller Williams. Phone 304-579-7349 or go to callchrisross.com. Let's celebrate your real estate milestone together.
Our dad taught us a lot about the law, but he taught us even more about life and people.
He taught us to treat clients like family. At the Skinner Law Firm, the firm our father started here in the Eastern Panhandle, we still believe that.
We also believe that everyone has the right to be protected from those who don't play by the rules.
We believe it's about helping people. Call us at the Skinner Law Firm, where we treat you like family.
This November, be a part of change and help elect Tony Petrucci to the Berkeley County Council.
With my experience and conservative background, I feel I can serve the people well. I have maintained a very conservative and practical approach to handle the county. To put it plainly, I want the county to be prosperous and its citizens healthy and safe.
Tony's first term was described as leaving behind a reputation of fairness and fiscal responsibility. And when you vote Petrucci, you're voting for fiscal responsibility, health and safety, citizen involvement, and economic growth. This November, vote Tony Petrucci.
Paid for by candidate.
And we welcome you back into the W. Harley Miller Systems pregame show. It's time to go in the huddle with running back Tommy Wogan. This portion of the pregame show is brought to you by Blue Ridge Property Restore, getting you back from disaster faster. First of all, Tommy, how's the season going so far?
It's going really good. We've pulled out a couple wins early in the season, and I think things are going great right now.
Second year of the single wing for you guys. You're a big part of that, one of the key runners in this offense. How do you feel that has evolved over the last year and a half?
Having a lot more experience in this offense has really helped. First year coming in, we just thrown into it and kind of ran with it, and this year we have a lot more experience, so I think we're fine with it now.
Is this a fun offense to run because not a lot of your opponents are going to see it all that often?
Yeah, we're probably the only offense that runs it like this. There's a lot of other single wing teams around this state that run the single wing tee, but we have our own variation of it, so we like our stuff.
Coming off of a big win last time out, a 49-0 contest against Hedgesville, how much does that pick up your momentum, especially going into a game like this against Martinsburg?
Yeah, coming to a game off a win against a very good team like Martinsburg is, and they're coming off a loss, so maybe we'll have some momentum into this game to maybe make some noise. So,
when you look at this Martinsburg team, obviously one of the perennial powers in AAA, what do you see with them on defense and film so far?
They've been doing the same stuff they've been doing. They got some kids coming back that are pretty good, so we're prepared and we're ready for anything they have coming at us. So,
best part of the senior season so far?
Just being around my guys, just the teammates and the coaches. It's just fun being in football, especially with last year not being to play the whole season. So, it's fun.
Well, Tommy, appreciate the time and good luck tonight.
All right, sounds good.
Tommy Wogan of the Washington Patriots. We're now send it out to Martinsburg High School with Matt Miller.
Matt, thank you very much. We do welcome you back here to Coburn Field, home of the Martinsburg Bulldogs. Right now talking with Kevon Warren. He's a senior running back, a quarterback, and a linebacker. He'll be out there on special teams as well. Kevon, thank you for a few minutes of your time. Give us an idea of what it's like to play so many positions for this Martinsburg football team.
Thank you for having me, Matt. I would have to say it's kind of a workload, but you'll get a hang of it like when the season's going on.
What's it like at the quarterback position this year as you get that opportunity to have the ball coming right into your hands?
You got to make sure everyone's set, everyone knows what they're doing, alignment. So, I mean, it's basically you're a captain, so you got to take control of the team.
Obviously, when you're back there, everyone knows your speed, and those opponents are expecting you to run the football. Is it fun when you get a chance to put it in the air?
I would have to say yes, because I'm not used to really doing that. Like you said, I'm used to just running the ball. So it's a fun thing to do.
Have you ever played quarterback before?
7th grade year, yeah.
All right, so it's been a little bit of time. Are you remembering some of those things?
A little bit, because I was in South Hagerstown when we was playing, so
right.
It was pretty fun.
Take us over to the defensive side of the football. What's the fun of being a linebacker in what you guys do?
I would have to say, like, against Spring Valley, taking on the 6'7" guys, I mean, that was pretty fun. I would also have to say just getting down and dirty with the other linebackers, the linemen, corners and all that. It's pretty fun.
All right, you brought up Spring Valley. Obviously a disappointing game. First loss in a while for this team. How are you guys bouncing back from that?
We just take step by step. We can only control our controllables. So we just come out like if it's just another day, just get better and just hope for the best.
A week off that you really didn't want to have coming into this matchup. How were you able to take advantage of that time?
Even with our 1 week off, we really sat down there. We listened, we watched film and everything. So it wasn't really a week off. I would have to say just minus the game, and with the game, we had a scrimmage Friday against each other. So it wasn't really nothing different.
All right, talk to us about your matchup against the Washington Patriots. How excited are you to get back on the field?
I think we all are excited because, like you said, the disappointing loss. How are we going to bounce back from adversity, and what are we going to do from here on out?
What do you see in these Patriots?
I see big, like Thomas Wilgan. He's a good player. Their linemen, they got everything straight now. They just came off a good win against Hedgesville. So we'll look for a little bit of everything from them.
Kevon, thank you for your time. Good luck in the game.
Thank you, Matt.
There you go, Kevon Warren. He is joining us here with our player segment. We're in the huddle, and it's brought to you by Blue Ridge Property Restore. They'll get you back from disaster faster. We've got more of the W. Harley Miller Systems pregame show coming up. This is West Virginia High School football on Talk Radio, WRNR, and TV 10.
Pete Dougherty will put Berkeley and Jefferson County first in the state Senate. Dougherty has spent 4 decades fighting for our children, seniors, and veterans while keeping the Eastern Panhandle safe from crime. As your senator, Dougherty will fight back against the Charleston establishment, ensure that police have the funding needed to protect our communities, repair our crumbling infrastructure and high-speed internet, and be a champion for public education. On November 3rd, let's tell Charleston there's a new sheriff in town. Vote Pete Dougherty for state Senate.
I'm Natalie Tennant. As West Virginians, we'll get through this crisis together. We've been knocked down before, and we get back up. I've been there with you, and I'll be there again working for a better future like I did as Secretary of State. By modernizing the office, I saved you money and gave it back, lowered fees and helped businesses create jobs, and made voting easier. We need that kind of leadership again. It takes courage, vision, and cooperation. I know we can do this, West Virginia. I believe in you.
Erie Insurance says here's to the grown-ups who move, mortgage, mow, and still bust a move. But does your home insurance still fit? Erie helps you protect the home you've grown into, all at fair prices that are often less than the other guys. So how do you find the right coverage? Magic. Nope. Local independent agents who get to know you like this.
Your local Erie agent in Martinsburg is Smallwood & Small Insurance. Get a quote at smallwoodandsmall.com.
Erie Insurance.
My name is Marshall Wilson. I'm the only independent serving in the West Virginia legislature, and I'm running for governor to uphold and defend the Constitution of the state of West Virginia and of the United States, because I want my children to raise their children in a free, just, prosperous, and secure land. If my children have that opportunity, yours will also. Look us up at marshallforwv.com. Please vote S. Marshall Wilson for governor. Thank you very much.
Write in S. Marshall Wilson for governor. Paid for by Marshall for WV.
We welcome you back in to our W. Harley Miller Systems pregame show. It is time now for a look at our keys to the game, brought to you by S. Marshall Wilson, independently running for governor of West Virginia. He is a write-in candidate, so be sure to write in S. Marshall Wilson November 3rd. Matt, our matchup, Martinsburg visiting Washington. I'll let you pick where you want to begin. Keys for both teams.
Putting me on the spot here. Let's start with the visiting Martinsburg Bulldogs. I think they need to get back to simplifying the game. Again, you come off a loss. There's a lot of talk around town. You and I have heard it. We've heard it all. Yes, you broke a streak. That doesn't matter. Your goal beginning of each year is to do what?
Win a state championship.
Get to the playoffs first, and then once you get there, win a state championship. Yes, going undefeated for the last 57 games, that's nice. Get back to what makes you Martinsburg football. You played well in Spring Valley. You just happened to lose that game. You didn't play bad. So get back to the basics. Do what you did in week 1 against Mussman, where you came out and played very, very well with some of these guys we're talking about not having a whole lot of experience. You had a bye week to work on things. We heard Coach Sherman say they had a little fun, had a little scrimmage last week. Get back to the basics. Don't worry about the win streak anymore. It's in the past. Start a new one tonight and go 1-0 tonight. Get back to above 500, 2-1, and try to beat the Washington Patriots.
All right, let's turn our attention to those Washington Patriots.
We've talked about it throughout the pregame. Hold the ball as long as you can. Put together drives offensively. Again, the defense for the Washington Patriots is their Achilles heel. They don't have that speed on the defensive side of the football, but the single wing is working for them offensively. It's an offense designed to chew the clock. It's an offense designed to put together long drives. Use that to your advantage. Put together 8, 10, 12-play drives. Take 6, 7, 8 minutes off the clock, and you're going to keep yourself in this ball game.
And that's going to frustrate this Martinsburg defense as well as that offense that wants to get back out on the field where they can score quickly.
Yeah, exactly. You were exactly right with that one.
There you go. Keys to the game, a service of S. Marshall Wilson, independent candidate for West Virginia governor. Be sure to write in S. Marshall Wilson on November 3rd. Our coaching matchup today, Glenn Simpson now in his 5th year. Hard to believe it's been that long already here at Washington High School, trying to get things turned around here and doing so nicely with that 2-2 record right now this year. 8 wins, 36 losses. He had 4 years as an assistant coach at Hedgesville before getting the head coaching position here. Meanwhile, for Martinsburg, under the direction of first-year head coach Britt Sherman, a long-time assistant coach under prior head coach David Walker. Coach Sherman taking over the program in a very difficult situation through the COVID virus that kept them off the field in week 1 and through a schedule that has had them play only 2 games through the first 4 weeks. They are looking forward to getting back out on the field here this evening. Well, that wraps up our pregame show. We'll send it back to the studio, take a timeout that will last 3 minutes long, and then that will get us back here in time for today's starting lineups and the opening kick of West Virginia High School. Football on Talk Radio, WRNR TV 10.
Remember that last trip to the auto mechanic?
I also think your solenoid gasket is bad.
What?
Yep, that'll be another $500.
Forget that and go to D&N Auto Specialist at 230 Tavern Road, Martinsburg, where honesty is their best policy. Serving the Eastern Panhandle since 1974, D&N Auto is family-owned and operated, specializing in exhaust alignments and tires. From general maintenance to major overhauls, they'll treat you right. Call D&N Auto Specialist at 304-267-4078.
They're my closest friends. We've been through a lot together. Seeing our kids off to college, Kelly losing her mom, my 50th birthday, I trust them with so much. So when it came to my finances, I trusted Kelly's referral to her Ameriprise advisor. Beth gives me the comprehensive advice that helps me feel confident my financial future is secure. With the right financial advisor, life can be brilliant. Ameriprise Financial.
And that concludes today's pregame show.
We play every play like it's the most important play of the game. Who let the dogs out?
Coming up next, it's the starting lineups, opening kick, and play-by-play action of West Virginia high school football featuring the AAA Martinsburg Bulldogs. Today's game is being brought to you by
Kent Parsons Ford of Martinsburg, the Skinner Law Firm, Smallwood and Small Insurance, Patricia Rucker for West Virginia Senate. Promises made, promises kept. 66th District Delegate Paul Espinosa. Panhandle Dumpsters. Bricks 27 Restaurant. WVU Medicine East. Hagerstown Ford. The Brown Funeral Homes and Cremations. Bechtel Jewelers. The Mirius Group of Financial Advisors. Chris Ross of Milestone Realty. S. Marshall Wilson for West Virginia Governor. Pete Dougherty for West Virginia Senate. The Mansion Ferretti Law Firm. Natalie Tennant for West Virginia Secretary of State. John Perdue for West Virginia Treasurer. Storm Shiley Frame for West Virginia House of Delegates, District 66. The Palace Lounge Bar and Grill. Tony Petrucci for Berkeley County Council. Wayne Clark for the 65th District House of Delegates. And the Berkeley County Health Department.
And now, Let's go back to the field and rejoin our Talk Radio WRNR broadcast team.
And we welcome you back into Terry L. Marcus Stadium. Along with Matt Crawford, I'm Matt Miller. Time for us to take a look at the starting lineups. They're brought to you by D&N Auto Specialist. If your vehicle is not starting properly, start at D&N Auto to get it fixed right the first time. Family owned and operated since 1974. Phone 304-267-4078. With a look at those starters, here's Matt.
Starting with the Washington Patriots. On the offensive side of the football, the offensive line looks like this for the big guys. Ethan Pesci, Zach Wharton, Jaden McCartney, Adam Sharp, and Fleetwood White. Playing quarterback today, Frankie Amore in the backfield of this dangerous single wing. Tommy Wogan, Colton Childers, and Joseph Vrobel. Tyler Meisenzahl is the lone receiver, and Jimmy Williams is the tight end. On the defensive side of the football, Fleetwood White is a defensive lineman. His other defensive line mates, Ethan Pesci, Adam Sharp, and Stephen Pritt. The two-man linebacking core is Colton Childers and Jimmy Williams. In the secondary, it is Austin Sharp, Joseph Vrobel, Tommy Wogan, Frankie Amore, and Bryson Fleming.
Let's turn to the Martinsburg Bulldogs.
The Martinsburg Bulldogs offensively, quarterback Peyton Curry, offensive lineman Micah Selman, Christian Slack, Jacob Zittel, Justin Petrie, and Olin Kaufman. Running backs are Naeem Kearney and Kevon Warren. Wide receivers Anthony Smith, Jarvis Thurston, Dorn Smith, and Hudson Clement. Again, Jarvis Thurston probably not playing tonight. On the defensive side of the football, the linebacking core, Anthony Smith, Kevon Warren. The defensive linemen, Christian Slack, Justin Petrie, Micah Selman, Zion Watson, and in the linebacking core, it is Braxton Todd and Cam Shallis. The two corners, Dorn Smith, and again, maybe Jarvis Thurston. And the safeties are Hudson Clement and Kazan Villa.
And we understand Kazan Villa may be the one getting the start at one of those slot receiver positions, with Thurston dealing with a bruise that may keep him out of this one. Well, that is a look at our starting lineups, a service of D&N Auto Specialist. Phone 304-267-4078 to set up an appointment. Now it's time to know who the officials are. They're brought to you by Republican Wayne Clark for 65th Delegate District. Phone 304-724-0360, or check out Wayne Clark for House of Delegates 65th District on Facebook. Today's referee is Mitch Shaw. Our umpire, J.P. Jones. The line judge is David Davis. The head linesman, Chris Keel. Side judge is Jeff Zombro. And the field judge is Derwin Carter. Game officials brought to you by Republican Wayne Clark, running for the 65th House of Delegates District. We got a 30-second break to take, and then we'll come back with today's opening kick and all the play-by-play. It's West Virginia High School football. Washington hosting Martinsburg on Talk Radio WRNR and TV 10.
Floodwaters can spread E. coli bacteria. Here's Bill Kearns from the Berkeley County Health Department about what to do if your well is tested positive.
If it's just a one-time contamination, you can superchlorinate your well, which we have instructions at the health department. They could call and talk to us. You're providing an excessive amount of bleach down the well. Then you do a runoff to get that out of the system, to get the bleach through your lines, get any contamination out of there. You do a runoff of so long, and then you can have it tested again.
The Berkeley County Health Department, 122 Waverly Court in Martinsburg. Call 304-263-5131.
Here we go from Terry L. Marcus Stadium. Matt, it looked as though from the indication Washington won the toss but deferred, and so Martinsburg taking the football to get this one underway and going back deep for the Bulldogs. Well, we'll wait and see who it is and how deep they go, considering most teams have yet to kick to them so far this season. You've got Kevon Warren at the 30 along the near side, Braxton Todd at the 30 along the far side. Naeem Kearney and Anthony Smith do go deep back around the 12-yard line, and I believe that's Kazan Villa. Yes, it is, in the middle of the field at the 25-yard line. Our opening kick is being brought to you by Berkeley County Health Department. Their motto, prevent, promote, protect. Find out more by calling the Berkeley County Health Department at 304-263-5131. So here we go, as the football being placed on the tee at the 40-yard line, right down the middle of the field. Teeing it up is Griffin Price. He's a senior, goes 6'1", 140 pounds, listed as both a wide receiver and a defensive back, as well as being a kicker for this team. Frankie Amore also doing some kicking as well. Beautiful evening for high school football. Perfect game time temperature. The approach and the kick, it's popped up along the near side. Football bounces at the 39-yard line and goes out of bounds there. And Martinsburg will take the 5-yard penalty from that spot. And it looks like they'll get to start at about the 44-yard line.
No shock there. I thought it would be a stretch to think they were going to kick deep to Martinsburg. Nobody has this year. And you really, looking throughout this entire season and the games we covered, you haven't seen a lot of deep kickoffs, period, anymore at the high school level this year.
Martinsburg going to elect not to take that penalty as far as marking it off and keeping the football. They want to try to get a return out of this if they can. They're going to back Washington up to the 35-yard line and make them kick again. So Martinsburg hoping to make a big play on special teams.
I was going to say, they clearly think they have the talent to get a nice return here, so they want to see that ball kicked again. I would imagine the attempt is going to be about the same to try to pin it along the sideline somewhere within that 30 to 40-yard line range.
Kevon Warren on this near side moving up around that 40-yard line where he might be expecting that popped-up kick again. Griffin Price makes his approach. He pops it up this time on that far side of the field. It's taken at the 45-yard line, and the man immediately hit and brought down on the play. That looks like Sean Nelson, number 23. He's a junior wideout and defensive back, 6'1", 170 for the Bulldogs, hanging on to that one. And Martinsburg's going to get it just about where they would have anyway, the 44-yard line.
But hey, they thought they had an opportunity, and can't blame them. They think they have the athletes on that kick return team. Might as well take a shot at it, and a good job by that kicking team for Washington, getting a lot of heads around the return man.
So the Dogs come to the line, ball along that far side hash mark. They will move from right to left, and it looks like Kevon Warren who is going to get that start at the quarterback position, not Peyton Curry. So Martinsburg will have a young man out there that is a threat to run, but hey, don't sleep on him. He'll throw the football as well, as he's completed 3 of 5 passes for 62 yards, no touchdowns, no picks. He's got it back to each side. It's Braxton Todd to his right, Naeem Kearney to his left. There is the snap back and the handoff. Braxton Todd turning the corner on this near side. Good blocking, cutback move to the midfield stripe. Down the near side, hash marks. Splits a pair of defenders at the 25, and no one's going to catch him. Braxton Todd into the end zone for a Martinsburg Bulldog touchdown on the very first play. He covers 56 yards.
The offensive line did a good job of creating about 4 or 5 different seams that Warren could have cut back. Again, he had multiple opportunities. Usually when you see a long run from Martinsburg, it's trying to cut it to the outside and go up the sideline, but just so many lanes right there for a cutback option that was going to be a long run regardless. And you see the explosive speed, and early on in this one, you see the difference in speed between that Martinsburg offense and the Washington defense.
On to attempt the extra point, Nathan Romer. Romer on this season, 4 of 6 in PATs, puts this one up and gets it through. And we've got 11:42 remaining in our opening quarter, and we take a 60-second break. Martinsburg in front 7-0.
McCrae is dedicated to protecting our employees and you, our customers, as we provide our communities essential heating, cooling, and indoor air quality needs during these trying times. Take advantage of McCrae's exclusive offer. Purchase a new Train high-efficiency system and receive a $1,000 instant rebate plus 0% interest financing for 48 months on qualifying products. Hurry, this offer won't last. Visit McCraeWay.com/TV today to learn more. It's hard to stop a train.
Where can you find stress-free car shopping, straightforward financing, and quality service? The Miller Auto Group, of course. Shop their full line of America's favorite cars, trucks, and SUVs at DriveMiller.com. That's DriveMiller.com. Whether you want to walk through the doors or shop in the comfort of your own home, the Miller Auto Group is there for you. And most importantly, they'll give you peace of mind with their lifetime powertrain warranty. Drive home a Miller today. In Winchester, visit Miller Honda and Apple Valley Hyundai. In Martinsburg, Apple Valley Chevy Toyota and Miller's Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram. Online at DriveMiller.com.
Down 7-0, 11:34 to play, quarter number 1. Scoring drive summary brought to you by Delegate Jason Barrett. Re-elect Jason Barrett for the 61st Delegate District. One play, 56 yards, took just 12 seconds. Braxton Todd went the distance on the very first carry, a second rushing touchdown of the year. Washington will line up with a tight wing here to this right side. Two guys in the backfield. There is the snap back, and the ball carrier met immediately, stood up, and driven backwards, never really taken down. They'll mark his progress after a gain of just about 2, and it looks like, I believe that was Wogan who took that initial snap.
Yeah, it looked like a 2 of Tommy Wogan.
So Tommy Wogan able to pick up about 2. They'll set it down at the 20-yard line, and it will bring up a 2nd down and 8. They will break the huddle. The play clock's not on here tonight, so they'll have to be keeping track of that time kind of in their head. Frankie Amore now back there at quarterback awaiting that snap. He's got it, looking to roll to that left side, looking for a cutback lane. Can't find it. Eventually slips a tackle coming here to the near side. Able to use his stiff arm to pick up a couple of extra yards. Eventually, it looks like Naeem Kearney who was able to bring him down at the 25-yard line. A gain of 5 to set up what should be about a 3rd and 3. And, Matt, not bad considering that looked like it would be a loss.
Yeah, good run, good hard run for Frankie Amore. And we've seen that over the past couple of years with him at that quarterback position, a guy that does not stop running those feet. I think what he's going to have to learn in this game, that when he's seeing the speed of this Martinsburg team, don't try to break it to the outside. When you can get a couple more yards, cut up in the middle of the field, even if you can only get 1 or 2, because you're probably not going to beat this defense to the outside.
Amore is their leading rusher, 672 yards on 68 carries, this time on the 3rd and short. He'll hand it off, and Wogan up the middle of the field gets back to the line of scrimmage and nothing more. Taken down right there, no gain, no loss, and it will bring up 4th and about 3. So Tommy Wogan on that carry, a couple of carries, 2 yards in the possession. Washington cannot convert on their first 3rd down attempt. You got to imagine they're punting here from their own 25. And that is Price who will get in there to punt it away. Griffin Price with 7 punts on the year and averaging about 25 yards a kick. Snap is back. He gets this one out of there. Nice high booming kick. That one is going to bounce at the Martinsburg 49, take a sideways hop, a couple of more yards down the field, and will be touched dead at the Bulldog 47-yard line.
Now we got a flag back from a couple of yards after that snap. Looks like it may be in the area of a hold, and that's what it's going to be.
So holding against Washington. The explanation will go to the Bulldog sideline. You would imagine Martinsburg will take that holding penalty, back them up 10 yards, and make them punt all over again. That would be 2 penalties now for 15 yards called on Washington after the procedure, if you will, on the kick out of bounds on the opening kick of the ball game. Wow, this one hurts. It backs the football all the way back up to the 11-yard line. So that occurred in the backfield. So the punt will now come from the end zone. Price just about 4 yards deep. That puts the Bulldog return man at the 45 in Washington territory. There's the snap back. It's a little bit low. He's not going to get it out of there. He lost the football. It was simply taken right away from him by Hudson Clement, a Bulldog wideout and defensive back who steps into the end zone. Well, he caught it in the end zone for the touchdown.
Yeah, took it off the foot of the punter, and that's about as easy as a touchdown as you're going to get for Hudson Clement. It was a low snap, again in the end zone. Really no wiggle room at all for a bad snap. And I think in that case, if you're the punter, you may be better off just falling on that football, only sacrificing the 2 points and punting it back away.
Yeah, that snap a little bit low. He had to drop to his knee. By the time he got it, he didn't really field it cleanly and did not have a chance to get it out of there. And as he was trying, he kind of put that football out as though he would bring his leg up through, and Clement just took it. Martinsburg in that muddle huddle with guys on each side, really just the center and the snapper and holder. They snap it back, kick is up, it is good. 9:09 to play in the first quarter, back in 60. Martinsburg up 14-0.
Wowzers.
Our dad taught us a lot about the law, but he taught us even more about life and people.
He taught us to treat clients like family. At the Skinner Law Firm, the firm our father started here in the Eastern Panhandle, we still believe that.
We also believe that everyone has the right to be protected from those who don't play by the rules.
We believe it's about helping people. Call us at the Skinner Law Firm, where we treat you like family.
Good field position with 9 minutes left in quarter number 1 for Washington, but already down by 2 scores. Hey, our first quarter being presented by Chris Ross and Milestone Real Estate Group at Keller Williams. Buying or selling a home? Call chrisross.com. Also, the Skinner Law Firm, injury and consumer rights lawyers. Phone them at 304-245-6613, online at skinnerfirm.com. So from their own 27-yard line, second possession for Washington. Snap back to Amore. Fakes the handoff to a man in motion who came from left to right. Amore keeps it, pushes his way forward. He's got a gain of a couple out to the 29-yard line. Matt Amore, not big, 5'8", 155, but a hard runner.
Yeah, he is, and that's something that you hear from coaches. No matter who you're talking to about Washington, is that they never quit. This has been a rebuilding team over the past couple of years, and what was the term that Coach Simpson liked to use, putting those deposits in? And this is the year they're withdrawing those. But there's been some lopsided scores in the past, but something you hear from coaches around the area is that this Washington team never quits. All heart in these Patriots.
Receiver near side with a tight slot. The snap goes back. That's Wogan in there at quarterback this time. He keeps it running over top of right guard and tackle. Moves out beyond the 30, close to the 32. That's a gain of about 3. It'll bring up third, and we'll call it 6.
Yeah, nice opening, but the offensive line opened up right there. The right side of the offensive line down blocking, a little bit of a hinge block for that right side tight end. Created a little seam, enough for Wogan to gain a couple, and another strong run for Tommy Wogan.
And a third down coming for Washington. Could not convert on a 3rd and 3 in their opening possession. That led to the punt that was literally taken right off the foot of the punter for a Martinsburg touchdown. Bryson Fleming goes in motion. They'll fake the give to him. Amore keeps it and no place to go. Good penetration by Martinsburg's defensive front and those linebackers, and eventually Micah Selman wrapped him up and brings him down. He does get a yard out to the 33. And it will bring up now 4th down and about 5. Got to imagine the punting unit comes on again, not ready to give the football away in your own territory. Although there seemed to be at least a delay in getting that punting unit out there. 3 carries, 8 yards in the early going for Frankie Amore. Waiting for that snap back. Griffin Price has it. This one shanked off the side of his foot. Will go out of bounds. No, actually it hit inbounds on the sideline, and then Bryson Fleming grabbed it as it bounced backwards, and Martinsburg will have it at the 45 of Washington.
Yeah, and that was a case where just having to get that football out very quick was Griffin Price. A lot of white jerseys right around him. Didn't want another one blocked and taken back the other way, so just had to get it out quick. And got a few, obviously not the punt he wanted, but at least he got it out, moved a little further up the field.
12 yards exactly on that punt, and with 6:40 to play, quarter number 1, in front 14-0. Martinsburg with their second offensive possession from the 45 of Washington. Kevon Warren taking the snap, going to the far side, gave a little fake like he might throw, keeps it along that far side hash mark, gets inside the 20 and taken down from behind inside the 15. Mark him down to the 14-yard line, and the gain is good for 31.
And what Martinsburg is doing, and this is just their offense, when you spread guys out, that's also spreading out that Washington defense. And what Washington's going to have to do tonight is figure out how to tackle in numbers, but with having to spread out like this to cover all those receivers, it's going to be awfully tough.
Snap back to Kevon Warren, hands this one off. That's Naeem Kearney around the corner on the right side. He gets the numbers on that far side of the field, inside the 10, and gets spun down. Looks like close to the 8-yard line. So a gain of about 6 on that first carry for Kevon Warren, for Naeem Kearney. Kearney comes in with 200 rushing yards on the season. Kevon Warren, the leading rusher, at 235. So with that football down at about the 8-yard line, handoff going to go to Naeem Kearney. Kearney gets to the goal line, powers through a would-be tackle and into the end zone. It's a Martinsburg Bulldog touchdown.
Yeah, Bryson Fleming was there, made contact with about the 3-yard line. Naeem Kearney just showing the power right there, standing Bryson Fleming up and rolling into the end zone. And right now Martinsburg doing just about whatever they want offensively. And again, showing a little bit different look for the extra points so far. I think at some point throughout the season, this is going to be used for a 2-point conversion attempt. Feel pretty safe in saying that. Something we have not seen from them, and will it be right now?
Yeah, let's see. There is the snap back. That is Clement, who is the holder. He takes it, throws over the middle, in and out of the hands of Braxton Todd, but we've got a penalty marker down, and we may end up having a defensive pass interference.
And we're going to. Frankie Amore getting there just a split second early.
Hudson Clement, the junior, normally the holder, showing he can throw that football as well. Nathan Romer out there as the kicker is in behind him, lined up as though he would be ready to kick. There's a center and 2 guards. The other linemen are 2 out along the numbers on the near side, 2 out along the far side, with a back behind each one of them where it looks like it could be a throw. Now there's the snap back, and the extra point is up, and it is good. We've got 5 minutes and 30 seconds remaining in quarter number 1. We're back in 60 with Martinsburg in front now, 21-0.
Remember that last trip to the auto mechanic?
I also think your solenoid gasket is bad.
What?
Yep, that'll be another $500.
Forget that and go to D&N Auto Specialist at 230 Tavern Road, Martinsburg, where honesty is their best policy. Serving the Eastern Panhandle since 1974, D&N Auto is family-owned and operated, specializing in exhaust alignments and tires. From general maintenance to major overhauls, they'll treat you right. Call D&N Auto Specialist at 304-267-4078.
We all know what a good time looks like. But what is it made of? We can think of a few things. In this case, it's handcrafted food to gather around, an ever-changing variety of wine, and a Friday night. Do yourself a favor. Experience the good in a good time.
The scoring drive summary brought to you by Delegate Jason Barrett. Re-elect Jason Barrett in the 61st Delegate District. We'll give it to you after the ensuing kickoff. The approach and the kick, a high but short one taken on the run at about the 19-yard line. That is Bryson Fleming. Hits, spins, but gets taken down right there. That was a nice special teams tackle. Looking for the number that appears to be a 6, and that's Isaiah Carpenga, who was able to make that special team stop. Hey, the drive for Martinsburg, Matt, 3 plays, 45 yards, a minute and 10 seconds, 8 yards on the touchdown run for Naeem Kearney, his 3rd rushing touchdown of the season.
We've seen Washington's offense get a couple of yards in each one of the first 2 possessions. Again, I think something they're going to have to adjust in this game is not bouncing to the outside. They're not going to have the speed to get to the outside, so go between the tackles, use that big offensive line, create some blocks up front.
Well, they'll start at their own 26-yard line, and spinning away from an initial tackle, the ball carrier able to pick up a couple of yards, and once again on that carry, and is Tommy Wogan, the senior, 5'11", 194 pounds, tough running as he gets out to the 29 for a gain of close to 3.
He had a good hard run. That looked like it was going to be bottled up about the line of scrimmage, but just a little move, that little spin move, just trying to roll out of a tackler, gets that few extra yards. And an extra yard here, an extra yard there is what you get first downs off of.
Absolutely. Washington taking their time in the huddle, getting that play from the sideline. They'll come to the line of scrimmage at their own 29. Ball resting almost directly in the middle of the field. And now we're going to have a penalty marker down, and we'll have a delay of game. So -5 for the delay. Will now be the 3rd penalty for 20 yards in this opening quarter, whistled against Washington.
And that's got to be tough without the play clock
on
the field. I assume our back referee is giving some sort of indicator, but with that play clock on the field, that's awfully hard to get that timing.
It'll now make it 2nd down and 12. With the football back at their own 24-yard line. Wingman goes in motion. Snap is a little too high. Wogan diving for it at the 10-yard line. Did he get it back? Wow, I think with one hand he was able to reach out there and grab it. Well, that's a heck of a play just to keep that football in the Patriots' hands, but another loss of 14 yards. It's back with the front nose of the football, if you will, on that 10-yard line. The back nose inside the 10-yard line.
And after gaining a few on on the first drive, or the first play of the game, or the first play of this series, rather. Losing yards at a rapid pace at this point.
So from their own 10-yard line on what will be a 4th down and very long, it's a pooch punt out of there that will land at about the 40, take a roll along the near side hash mark into Martinsburg territory, and will be touched dead at the 44-yard line. So there's the way to handle that one. Go ahead and pooch it out of there even on a 3rd down and very long, and that punt will cover about 46 yards. Believe that was Amore who punted that one away. Matt, I'm having issues with you. You had been there, and now you seem to have disappeared.
Let's try that one. There we go. Something in that microphone port right there.
So 46 yards on that punt, and Martinsburg will take over 3:08 and counting, it looks like, on that first quarter clock from their own 44. Handoff on a jet sweep. That's going to Kazan Villa. Villa, who is moving from left to right, taking that handoff and along the far side hash mark, cut it upfield, takes it into Washington territory, and the mark is progress to about the 48. So that gain good for close to 8 yards on the first carry of the season for Kazan Villa, just a freshman, 5'11", 190. Now from the 48 in Washington territory on a 2nd down and about 2. It's Hudson, it is Curry out there at quarterback. Slings a pass to the near side. Caught by Dorn Smith. Smith able to break through some tackles outside the numbers along the near side, inside the 35 and the 30, and mark him down to the 26-yard line.
And Matt, Colton Childers was the first tackler there, or would-be tackler there for Washington. And again, just trying a little bit of an arm tackle. Can't do that against this Martinsburg team. If you got to use that sideline as an extra defender, just try to push him out of bounds. Arm tackling not going to bring down this Bulldog team.
So 1st and 10 now from the 26 of Washington. Peyton Curry out there, fakes the give, and then throws the slant over the middle and too far out in front of a wide open Anthony Smith.
Yeah, that had 6 written all over it. There's one guy on this offense you can't keep alone on the outside. It's Anthony Smith.
Anthony Smith, one of the top athletes in the Mountain States.
That may have been the case where Peyton Curry saw just how wide open Anthony Smith was, rushed that throw just a little bit. As the season goes on, I think you'll see them connect on that one an awful lot.
Peyton Curry, 6 foot, 180 pounds, senior at quarterback. Has Naeem Kearney to his left side. Trip receivers out to that wide side right. Snap goes back. Here comes the pressure, rolling to the near side. Penalty marker is down. Curry stays in bounds, slips a tackle to the 20, another tackle to the 15, breaks through another tackle at his ankles at the 10 and goes in for an apparent score, but we've got a very late flag down at the end of the play, and we had another penalty marker down along the far side hash mark. I think this one may be coming back.
One of these, I believe, is going to be a dead ball after the touchdown, but one was in the was during the run.
Let's get the indication from our head referee, Mitch Shaw. Holding on Washington in the secondary, and then a personal foul, and they are going to call those offsetting penalties.
So Washington catching a break on that one. But, Matt, I liked what I saw out of Washington defensively right there. You saw the jailhouse blitz, everybody coming in, and you saw it fluster Peyton Curry a little bit. He has the athleticism to get to the corner, and you saw him break quite a few tackles on his way to the end zone. But I like that mentality for this Washington defense.
I was going to say, they got there, just couldn't contain. So again, it will be a 2nd down and a 10 from the 26-yard line of Washington. Curry out of the gun, has Naeem Kearney to his left, takes that snap, looks far side, throwing towards the end zone. It's a jump ball and in and out of the hands of Dorn Smith, who just was not able to bring that one in. Hey, our first quarter presented by the Skinner Law Firm, Injury and Consumer Rights Lawyers. Find them online at skinnerfirm.com. Also, Chris Ross and the Milestone Real Estate Group at Keller Williams. Buying or selling a home? Find out more at callchrisross.com. So back-to-back incompletions after the touchdown was called back on the run by the quarterback Peyton Curry. Now it brings up a 3rd down and 10. First time Martinsburg's faced a 3rd down in this opening quarter. Curry out of the gun. Controlled roll to that far side, has some time. Again throwing for the end zone, and back there is Anthony Smith. He's got it. It's a Martinsburg Bulldog touchdown.
Yeah, got past the initial defender with that corner on the deep side. Bryson Fleming playing safety for Washington on that play. Just a little late getting over there and help coverage. It gave Anthony Smith just enough room to run that pattern into the corner of the end zone, and it was a good throw by Peyton Curry.
His 5th touchdown pass, Anthony Smith's 4th touchdown catch on the early part of this season.
And, Matt, good accuracy by Curry on the run as well. Just moving that pocket to the far side.
There is the snap back. Clement will throw. Far side grab made. Very quickly brought down is Isaac Levy, who caught that one behind those 2 linemen to the right. So the 2-point conversion attempt fails. We'll take a 60-second break with 1:02 to play in quarter number 1. And the Martinsburg lead now at 27-0.
Like a successful football team, when it comes to choosing an effective representative in Charleston, experience matters. First elected in 2012, Delegate Paul Espinosa is the experienced, fiscally conservative voice Jefferson County needs, standing up for the issues we care about. In this crucial election year, when residents of the 66th District cast their vote for House of Delegates, the choice is clear. Re-elect Paul Espinosa. Paid for by Espinosa for Delegate, Mary C. Espinosa, Treasurer.
W. Harley Miller Systems understands the need and desire for reliable and affordable smart home solutions. Secure your home with a security system and keep a close eye on your family. Automate your home with a Control4 system and have smart technology work as one. Set daily schedules to control your thermostats. Push a button and set the mood for dinner by dimming lights and playing music, or just sit back and enjoy a movie in your own home theater. Put decades of experience to work for you. Visit us at WHMsystems.com or call 304-350-1931.
In by Anthony Smith. Capped a 5-play, 56-yard, 2-minute, 6-second drive, and the Bulldogs lead 27-0 after the 2-point conversion failed. Brought to you by Delegate Jason Barrett. That drive summary is re-elect Jason Barrett in the 61st Delegate District. Deep kick again down the middle of the field, taken by Bryson Fleming. Brings it right up the field for about a 10-yard return. Got to that 25, wrestles forward, and Washington will have it at about their own 26-yard line.
And, Matt, they're going to have to adjust some of the routes on that kick return for Washington. There's 4 or 5 guys that are going completely untouched to Bryson Fleming, the return man, so far on the couple of kickoffs in this game we've seen. And they're going to have to adjust some of those routes because Bryson Fleming's getting clobbered by a couple of Bulldogs who are flying in untouched with a full head of steam. See if there's some adjustments made at the end of this quarter throughout this first half.
Washington lining up in that single wing offense. 2 guys in the backfield. You got a tight slot to the left with a wide out to that side as well. And Martinsburg wants to call for a timeout. So as the Bulldogs take a defensive timeout, it's a reminder that our defensive timeout is being brought to you by, if I get to the right card, there it is, Tony Petrucci, Democrat candidate for the Berkeley County Council. Let's take 1 minute. We're back after this.
Erie Insurance says here's to the grown-ups who move, mortgage, mow, and still bust a move. But does your home insurance still fit? Erie helps you protect the home you've grown into, all at fair prices that are often less than the other guys. So how do you find the right coverage? Magic. Nope. Local independent agents who get to know you like this.
Your local Erie agent in Martinsburg is Smallwood & Small Insurance. Get a quote at smallwoodandsmall.com.
Erie Insurance. John Purdue never dreamed he'd go to college, let alone become one of the best state treasurers. John Purdue brought back financial integrity and transparency to the treasurer's office. He created the highly successful Smart 529 College Savings Program, and under his watch has returned more than $230 million in unclaimed property. He's created the 457 Retirement Program and WV Able, and his Board of Treasury Investments has the highest rating from Standard & Poor's.
I'm John Purdue, and I've never forgotten that I worked for you.
Well, out of that Martinsburg defensive timeout, Washington comes to the football. 1st and 10 from their own 26, trailing 27-0 here in quarter number 1. Snap goes back to Amore, and Amore trying to follow a block off the right side. Gets quickly taken down. I believe that was Kevon Warren in the 22 jersey, in the white jerseys with black lettering, orange trim for the Bulldogs, and it was. Warren makes that stop at the 29 after a pickup of 3.
And Matt, Frankie Morey coming off the field. I'm not sure if he got a hand stepped on right there, but messing with that right hand a little bit, so he's going to come off. Maybe wrap up a finger or 2.
Yeah, shaking it off on that right hand as he comes down the near sideline. So Wogan will slide over, take over as the quarterback. From my angle, can't quite get the jersey number. Okay.
It's number 1, Ethan Cockrell came in for Frankie Amore right there.
Cockrell, a junior, goes 5'8", about 174 pounds, and they're going to let the first quarter clock wind down, and there it is. Quarter number 1 is in the books. We're taking a 90-second break and then come back with quarter number 2 with Martinsburg leading Washington 27-0.
With 4 new car dealerships and 4 used car dealerships in 3 states, Parsons is the largest used car and fastest growing new car dealer in the tri-state area. Take Parsons Ford with huge savings on hundreds of new Fords, financing from 0%. Parsons' goal of financing for all. And Parsons' famous above-market trade-in allowances that help make Parsons #1 for used cars, too. See why so many won't buy anywhere but Parsons Ford in Martinsburg. We became #1 by making you #1 first. Parsons.
The same thing for 135 years, you learn to do it well. For 135 years, we've been helping families through the hardest times of their lives. That's because we're a family as well. When your family loses a loved one, we're here to help. We're Brown Funeral Home in Martinsburg, Inwood, and Charlestown, Ranson. We're here when you need us.
W. Harley Miller Systems understands the need and desire for reliable and affordable smart home solutions. Secure your home with a security system and keep a close eye on your family. Automate your home with a Control4 system and have smart technology work as one. Set daily schedules to control your thermostats. Push a button and set the mood for dinner by dimming lights and playing music, or just sit back and enjoy a movie in your own home theater. Put decades of experience to work for you. Visit us at WHMsystems.com or call 304-350-1931.
Here we go, quarter number 2 getting underway. Washington football now moving from right to left. They face a 2nd and 7 from the 29-yard line. Snap goes back. That's Wogan this time coming near side. Bounces off the tackle at about the 33. Stays on his feet to the 35. Football got knocked free. They had not blown the play dead. It is still loose, and I think Washington somehow recovered at the 45 in Martinsburg territory. Diving on that loose football looked to be a 44. That would be Colton Childress.
That's how you draw it up on the sideline, right?
Sure.
It was a good run for Wogan to begin with.
It was.
Yeah, it looked like about 8 on that initial run. Fumbled it forward. A couple of Bulldogs right there just couldn't seem to fall on that bouncing football. And a first down for Washington in Martinsburg territory. 45-yard line is where this ball gets snapped.
So with the ball at the 45 in Bulldog territory, that covers 26 yards on that fumble and the ensuing recovery. On first down and 10, a gain of 9, almost 10 on just straight-ahead power-type running.
Bryson Fleming on that run, good hard run. We saw him in week 1 have a really good second half in that game against Spring Mills. Guy that just puts his head down, finds the initial gap. You don't see him dance around a whole lot. He finds a gap and goes. And right now, Washington moving the football a little bit.
They are getting it done with some straight-ahead running, as you mentioned earlier. Second down, call it a yard to go with that football at about the 36-yard line, and Frankie Amore caught in the backfield, spun around, and down he goes. That time it was Hudson Clement, the Bulldog defensive back, who was able to wrap him up, and it ends up being a loss of a yard, and we'll go from a 2nd and 1 to a 3rd down and 2.
And Fleming was his lead blocker right there, right off tackle, didn't follow him, only needed a yard to gain to get that first down. I think you just got to follow him, put your shoulder down and try to get that yard. Instead, Frankie Amore trying to bounce it to the outside and just had nowhere to go. Good job by that Martinsburg defense bottling up options number 1, 2, 3, and 4 there for Frankie Amore.
0 of 3 on 3rd down conversion so far for Washington on a 3rd down and short. That is Bryson Fleming who took that snap, and I think he's got the first down. Gave that little spinner move coming here to the left. He gets to the 35-yard line, and that will be a Washington first down.
He had a guy coming in motion behind him, spun around, gave the fake handoff, and saw that initial hole he wanted to go through, put his shoulder down, got the first down.
So a pair of first downs in this possession, the first downs of this ball game for the Patriots, and they actually spot it inside the 35 at the 34. So give him 3 on that last carry. On first down, snap is back. That's Amore looking for running room here to the short side left. There is no place to go. Martinsburg bottled him up, and eventually they bring him down. Looks like a loss of a yard back to that 35-yard line.
Yeah, good job by the Martinsburg defense following the football the entire way, just really following those blockers as all those offensive linemen and blocking tight ends for Washington moving towards this near side. You follow the football, you follow the blockers, it'll all take you to the same place. And pinning Frankie Amore to the sideline, nowhere to go. Good job of that Martinsburg defense.
Yeah, ultimately, too many guys to block.
Yes, it's a game of numbers at the end.
Second down and 11 from the Martinsburg 35, 8:37 and counting in our second quarter, 27-0 Martinsburg. Handoff going to Bryson Fleming. He was starting right, comes back to his left. No place to go, taken down again right at the line of scrimmage. And it looks like Micah Selman again, one of the big guys helping out for Martinsburg. May have been Donovan Layton in there as well. Is that a 72? Yeah, that might have been 72.
What it looks like, yeah. And right now that front line for Martinsburg doing a good job after a couple of first downs for Washington, digging those feet in and not allowing the Patriot offensive line to create that new line of scrimmage, creating that stalemate at the line of scrimmage.
Oh, they'll set it down at the 36 of Martinsburg. That's actually a loss of a yard. And now Frankie Amore wanting to throw deep along the near side, and it's knocked away by Dorn Smith. Good man-on-man coverage as he was right there with Jimmy Williams, the intended target. There was some hand fighting going on, and you hear the Washington faithful wanting the pass interference call but not getting it.
Referee right in front of that play from our angle. It looked like there was the right arm of Dorn Smith, and from our angle it certainly looked like a flag could have been warranted, but again, maybe that referee right in front of the play at a little bit different angle than we have.
Well, obviously you're not going to punt from here. A punt's not going to give you that much when you're already at the 36 in Martinsburg territory. So it will bring up a fourth down, 12 yards to go for a first. Ninth play of the possession. And
don't be surprised if you see a little pooch punt for Frankie Amore here.
Yeah, they've done that before. And hang on, we're going to have a timeout, Washington. So the Patriots and head coach Glenn Simpson burn their first timeout. We'll take that 60-second break with 7:41 to play in the first half. Martinsburg leading 27-0.
I'm Storm Shiley Frame, and I'm running to serve the 66th District in the West Virginia House of Delegates. Homegrown in Jefferson County, wife, mother, teacher, and realtor, I understand what the 66th District needs. Investment for safer roads, dependable broadband internet, quality public education, and common sense legislation to attract responsible businesses and protect our natural resources. My opponent, Paul Espinosa, seems to think his job is to protect corporations instead of the interests of the people he represents. I'm Storm Shiley Frame. I can't be bought, and as your delegate, I will work for you.
Orsini's, not just an appliance store anymore. They're your one-stop resource for all home needs, whether it's custom kitchen design, countertops, or cabinets, or check out their new sleep studio with Tempur-Pedic, Sealy, and Stearns & Foster. For all of your outdoor living needs, Orsini's has Gladiator Garage Works, Traeger grills, barbecue accessories, barbecue rubs and sauces, and every flavor wood pellets. Visit their brand new 8,200 square foot showroom at 360 Hack Wilson Way, 304-267-7251, Orsinis.com.
Our second quarter being presented by Delegate Paul Espinosa, an effective voice in Charleston since 2012. Re-elect Paul Espinosa in the 66th, the Delegate District. Out of the timeout on a fourth down and 12, Washington football. They'll hand it off to Fleming. That inside scissors handoff, and coming back the other direction is Joseph Vrobel. And Vrobel, along the near side numbers, gets taken down at the 32. It'll be a gain of just about 4 yards, but clearly not going to be enough. And Martinsburg will take over on downs. By the way, our second quarter also presented by State Senator Patricia Rucker, running for re-election in Senate District 16. So the drive stalls with 7:25 to play here in our first half. Martinsburg to take over from their own 32-yard line. This is the longest field in front of them so far tonight. Out a quarterback. Is that Kevon Warren again? Yes, it is. He takes that snap. He wants to throw. He's staying in the pocket now. Flushed, rolls to that far side. Starts back to the near side again, goes to the far side again, making a couple of more guys miss. There he's able to use his speed. Able to avoid a tackler at the 25 to the 30 and the 35. Gets out to the 40 along the near side numbers, eventually taken down by Jimmy Williams, and that ends up being a gain of 8.
And, Matt, it was good pressure by the Washington defense, but too many guys chasing the quarterback, Kevon Warner, right there. Stay in your lanes. Don't give him any place to go. You saw 3 or 4 guys chasing after him. He's got the speed. He's going to be able to outrun just about anybody on the field. It was good initial pressure for Washington.
Yep.
You just got to stay in your lanes and give him nowhere to go. Pin him to the outside, push him out of bounds.
There's the athleticism and the speed, though, as Kevon Warren danced around, got away from that defense, and picked up a positive 8. 2nd and 2 from their own 40-yard line. Ball on the near side hash mark. This time Kevon Warren not even thinking about passing. Running off the left side, slips through a hole. He is into Washington territory, where Bryson Fleming eventually spins him down at the 46-yard line.
Good open field tackle by Bryson Fleming. Ahead of speed for Kevon Warren. Looked like he was going to try to turn to the outside, head up the sideline. Good open field tackle by the safety, Bryson Fleming.
14 yards on that carry. That is now 53 yards on 3 carries in the early going for Kevon Warren. Back out there again, awaiting that shotgun snap. He's got it. It's a screen to the near side, caught by Anthony Smith. Blockers out in front to the 40 and the 35. Makes a man miss with a little jump move to his left at the 30. Moves inside the 25 and gets taken down from behind at the 20-yard line. 26 on that pass completion.
It's 44. Colton Childers coming in the open field to try to tackle Anthony Smith, and he put his head down. And Anthony Smith saw that immediately. It was a quick little juke back to the inside. Your Childers have got to keep your head up.
First pass completion for Kevon Warren, awaiting that shotgun snap as Naeem Kearney behind him gives the little fake on the handoff, and then that play-action pass over the middle. Too low for Anthony Smith on that quick slant or deep slant.
Anthony Smith's going, what do I got to do to get a slant pass to hit me in the chest?
He was open for a second time on that pass pattern. Peyton Curry missed him earlier, and now Kevon Warren misses him here. 2nd down and 10 coming from the 20 of Washington. Kevon Warren now 1 of 2 for 26 yards. Again, he's got Naeem Kearney behind him, this time to his left. Kevon Warren wants to throw, being rushed, able to elude those tacklers. He's going to run to the 15, cutting to his left at the 10, breaks a tackle there, turns upfield and into the end zone for a Martinsburg Bulldog touchdown. Looking, no flags down. The score will count on a 20-yard run for Kevon Warren.
And that's just speed and athleticism. Again, play broke, good pressure initially by Washington. But you see the speed, the athleticism, the elusiveness of Kevon Warren. Looking like a video game out there on that play.
Yeah, absolutely. Picking up his 3rd rushing touchdown on this season. See if the Bulldogs will go for the single-point conversion or not.
Wouldn't be surprised if there was a 2-point attempt here. Make it a full 5 touchdown, as now they'll bring everybody else back in. So we may see a traditional PAT after all.
Yeah, they have these split lines like they've been doing throughout the early part of this one. Now they'll bring everybody together. Clement will await. There is the snap. Romer with the PAT. It is up and it is good. So we've got 4:54 remaining in our first half, and we take a 60-second break with Martinsburg out in front now by it should be 34. Waiting for it to change on the scoreboard. A 34-0 lead. Back in 60.
Looking to buy a home in the Eastern Panhandle? Having trouble getting your house sold? Then call Chris Ross and the Milestone Real Estate Group at Keller Williams. A Martinsburg High School graduate, Chris knows the local market, and he's proven it as the #1 real estate team in West Virginia in 2019. Milestone Real Estate Group at Keller Williams. Phone 304-579-7349 or go to callchrisross.com. Let's celebrate your real estate milestone together.
Like a successful football team, when it comes to choosing an effective representative in Charleston, experience matters. First elected in 2012, Delegate Paul Espinosa is the experienced, fiscally conservative voice Jefferson County needs, standing up for the issues we care about. In this crucial election year, when residents of the 66th District cast their vote for House of Delegates, the choice is clear. Re-elect Paul Espinosa. Paid for by Espinosa for Delegate, Mary C. Espinosa, Treasurer.
The timeout brought to you by Lene Johnson, candidate for Jefferson County Commission. Vote Lene Johnson for Jefferson County Commission. Romer with the ensuing kickoff. Nice high, deep kick. Coming down at the 10-yard line. Is that Fleming again? Yes, it is. Bryson Fleming getting a little bit of an opening, but then had to drag a tackler ahead out beyond the 25 to about the 27-yard line. Braxton Todd on that tackle. Drive summary brought to you by Delegate Jason Barrett. Re-elect Jason Barrett in the 61st Delegate District for the Bulldogs. 5 plays, 68 yards, 2 minutes and 31 seconds, 20 yards on the touchdown run for Kevon Warren. First TD of the night for him. 34-0 Martinsburg.
Matt, a scoring update between Spring Mills and Hedgesville. 8 minutes left in the second quarter. It is all Spring Mills 28-0. We'll have a full scoreboard update at the half with Colin McLaughlin in our halftime scoreboard show.
Yeah, looking forward to that. 1st and 10 from their own 27. Snap is back. Amore fakes the handoff to a man coming in motion. Penalty marker down as Amore keeps it off the left side of the line. He got to the 33, but that flag in the area where you'd expect a hold. Oh, it'll go against Martinsburg. There you go. So they would tack that on at the end of that run, which would have been 6 yards for Frankie Amore.
Seldom seen. Defensive holding on a run.
Face mask.
Okay.
There it is.
Okay.
Okay. So the face mask penalty going to add 15 yards at the end of that when it looks.
Less seldom seen. Face mask on a right play.
So they'll set it down out at the 43-yard line. Apparently they'll mark it from, they certainly didn't mark it from the end of that play.
No.
So they'll set it down out at the 43, still in Washington territory. It will be a 1st down and 10. Coming here to the near side, Bryson Fleming. Good stiff arm to hold off Dorn Smith, who eventually is able to force him out of bounds. Good sportsmanship at the end of that play on the Washington sideline. And wait a minute, I think we do have another flag down.
Yeah, flag down at about the 41-yard line.
So that one would be a yard or so deep in the backfield as the ball was snapped from the 43.
Another face mask.
Yeah, they give the indication that it's holding, or at least that's what it certainly looks like. They're going to move the football to the 49 in Bulldog territory. So we'll call it a pair of penalties on Martinsburg for about 20 to 25 yards. It will become 1st down and 10, but now at the 49 of Martinsburg. So back-to-back opportunities. Well, and let's see as they mark this one off. It's not a 1st down. It's at the 49, so it's 2nd and about 2 as that one occurred apparently right in the backfield. Snap going back to Frankie Amore and very quickly brought down Braxton Todd, the linebacker. Found an opening, got in there, and was able to wrap him up. Had some help from his friends as well. And that'll be a loss on the play. Let's see. Looks like they will give progress at the 48-yard line, so it's a loss of only 3.
Moore is going to have to come off for a play. Helmet came off on the tackle. And now I think you got to give the ball back to Bryson Fleming. He's moving in the right direction right now for this Washington Patriot team. I get you can't give it to him every single snap, but I think he's got to at least be on the field to draw that diversion if he's not getting the football.
That's what I would think. So they have 2nd down on the sticks with the football back at the 48-yard line. So 2nd, roughly 5 to go for a 1st. Wingman, or slot man, I should say, goes in motion from left to right. Bryson Fleming taking the snap, spins off a couple of tackles, gets outside the numbers along that far sideline, eventually taken down inside the 45, mark him at the 43 of Martinsburg.
Yeah, and there's one of those single wing plays. We've seen it a couple different times where you bring a guy in motion, you fake the handoff on the spin, then go back to the weak side. And working very well. That's a good run for Bryson Fleming.
Absolutely. It
breaking
is
a couple of tackles as well.
1st down with the football now at the 43 in Martinsburg territory. They've moved the ball a little bit in each of these last 2 possessions, down to 2:18 to play in our 1st half. Snap back to Frankie Amore, looking for running room near side, quickly bottled up and taken down. Helping in that tackle, Cam Shallis, the linebacker. Anthony Smith, outside linebacker there as well. And there is no gain on that play.
Mark's doing another good job right there. Frankie Amore wanting to originally cut it right off the tackle, nowhere to go, tries to bounce it to the outside, and Martinsburg just sealing off the edge as well. Those big guys doing a good job up front.
From the 43 in Martinsburg territory, 2nd and 10 coming. Clock winding 1:40 and counting in our 1st half. 34-0, Martinsburg with the advantage. On 2nd down, snap goes back. That's Amore handing it off. That's Bryson Fleming moving to his right, cuts upfield and gets back to about the 42. So a gain of 1, and it brings up a 3rd and 9. 6th play of the possession coming. Bryson Fleming up to 21 yards on 5 carries in the early going of this one. 1 of 5 on third down conversions in the first half for Washington. Doing a good job right here, running time off that clock, although time not their friend right now.
Yeah, obviously you want to get it in the end zone, but I think you would almost settle for not giving Martinsburg the football back.
On third and long, snap is back. That's Amore who wants to run near side and no place to go. Cam Shallis right there to help wrap him up, and eventually the play goes out of bounds along the near sideline. That will be a loss on the play. We're waiting to see where they're going to spot it, and Martinsburg is going to go ahead and burn a timeout. Let's go ahead and take that 60-second break as well. Our timeout brought to you by Tony Petrucci, Democrat candidate for the Berkeley County Council, back in 60 with Martinsburg leading 34-0.
Pete Dougherty will put Berkeley and Jefferson County first in the state Senate. Dougherty has spent 4 decades fighting for our children, seniors, and veterans while keeping the Eastern Panhandle safe from crime. As your senator, Dougherty will fight back against the Charleston establishment, ensure that police have the funding needed to protect our communities, repair our crumbling infrastructure and high-speed internet, and be a champion for public education. On November 3rd, let's tell Charleston there's a new sheriff in town. Vote Pete Dougherty.
Purdue never dreamed he'd go to college, let alone become one of the best state treasurers. John Purdue brought back financial integrity and transparency to the treasurer's office. He created the highly successful Smart 529 College Savings Program, and under his watch has returned more than $230 million in unclaimed property. He's created the 457 Retirement Program and WV Able, and his Board of Treasury Investments has the highest rating from Standard & Poor's.
I'm John Purdue, and I've never forgotten that I worked for you.
Here we go, Washington football facing a fourth down, about 12 yards to go for a first, and we're going to have time taken. So they're going to put some time, it looks like, back on the clock, if I hear correctly. Trying to get the clock reset, and I believe I heard
43 seconds.
Yeah, our head referee Mitch Shaw say go on the snap.
0.4. We're getting there.
Got to get that 4 on the other side of the decimal point.
And put a number next to it.
Hey, gives us a chance to remind you our second quarter has been brought to you by Delegate Paul Espinosa, an effective voice in Charleston since 2012. Re-elect Paul Espinosa in the 66th Delegate District. Also, State Senator Patricia Rucker running for re-election in Senate District 16. Action underway. Snap back to Amore. Rolling far side. Lets it go. It's a jump ball and will be incomplete. Anthony Smith, a diving attempt at an interception at the 32-yard line. It falls in and out of his hands to the turf, and it's a turnover on downs either way.
Yeah, Amore backpedaling on that throw and just trying to get rid of it. Either way, an incompletion, an interception wouldn't have been too different right there. So just had to get rid of the football, make sure it didn't take a sack and put it back and give Martinsburg better field position. See what the Dogs can do here at 33.2 left. We've seen that is more than enough time in this game so far. See if they can try to move down the field here quickly. Get it in the hands of one of the playmakers on the outside or even Kevon Warren, Naeem Kearney in the backfield.
They scored on their opening possession in 12 seconds on one play. It can be done with 33 seconds left in our first half. From their own 45, Kevon Warren at quarterback, Naeem Kearney going to be to his right side. 3 receivers out to the left, a single receiver here to the right. There is the snap back, and Kevon wants to throw. Looking. He's going to loft it deep. Has Kazon Villa. Villa dives at the 10-yard line and cannot bring it in. Just a little beyond his reach.
And Villa looked like he slowed down a little bit in that route, maybe having some trouble trying to judge where that football was going to end up. Again, a younger player out there, but what a throw by Kevon Warren. Hadn't played quarterback consistently since the 7th grade. That was a tight spiral on a deep ball down the field.
Took about 11 seconds off that clock. 22 ticks remaining in our second quarter. Second down and 10 from their own 45. Again, 3 receivers to the far side, but it's Anthony Smith who comes in motion. They'll give that little underneath pitch. Smith with a blocker in front to the near side. Taken down at the 43-yard line in Washington territory.
Jimmy Williams in there on the tackle.
So that gain good for about 12 yards, and that is a pass completion, Matt, because that's that little underneath touch
little shovel
pass.
Yep.
All right, Martinsburg burns their final timeout. Let's take our final 60-second break of this first half. 9 seconds left, and Martinsburg leading 34-0.
Another new medical office facility is now open in Shepherdstown. Services available at the new WVU Medicine Shepherdstown location include primary care and pediatrics and behavioral health and psychiatry. Additional specialty services will be added in November. Physicians at WVU Medicine Shepherdstown are now accepting new patients at mywvuchart.com, wvumedicine.org, or by calling 304-876-6343.
I'm Natalie Tennant. As West Virginians, we'll get through this crisis together. We've been knocked down before, and we get back up. I've been there with you, and I'll be there again working for a better future like I did as Secretary of State. By modernizing the office, I saved you money and gave it back, lowered fees and helped businesses create jobs, and made voting easier. We need that kind of leadership again. It takes courage, vision, and cooperation. I know we can do this, West Virginia. I believe in you.
Expecting the tackler to go for his legs. That tackler did not. He ends up landing and getting tackled, and they'll mark him at the 26-yard line. That game will be good for about 17 and a half ends.
Now, was that the old hook and ladder they just ran?
It was.
A little curl route and immediately tossing backwards? Man, Coach Sherman going deep into the playbook for that one.
It was. The completion to Clement, who then gave it off to Naeem Kearney, and Kearney able to pick up most of that 17 yards. Well, we have reached the intermission. Our halftime brought to you by Manchin Ferretti Law Firm, personal injury lawyers that can help you and your family. If you're in need, contact Manchin Ferretti Injury Law Firm at 304-944-0577. A 2-minute timeout, and then we return to Terry L. Marcus Stadium as we get into the half with Martinsburg leading Washington 34-0.
Looking to buy a home in the Eastern Panhandle? Having trouble getting your house sold? Then call Chris Ross and the Milestone Real Estate Group at Keller Williams. A Martinsburg High School graduate, Chris knows the local market, and he's proven it as the #1 real estate team in West Virginia in 2019. Milestone Real Estate Group at Keller Williams. Phone 304-579-7349 or go to callchrisross.com. Let's celebrate your real estate milestone together.
This November, be a part of change and help elect Tony Petrucci to the Berkeley County Council.
With my experience and conservative background, I feel I can serve the people well. I have maintained a very conservative and practical approach to handle the county. To put it plainly, I want the county to be prosperous and its citizens healthy and safe.
Tony's first term was described as leaving behind a reputation of fairness and fiscal responsibility. And when you vote Petrucci, you're voting for fiscal responsibility, health and safety, citizen involvement, and economic growth. This November, vote Tony Petrucci. Paid for by candidate.
Your vehicle in good working order, but car and truck repairs can be very costly. Bears Repair in Martinsburg performs all kinds of auto repairs at prices most often well below their competition. Bears Repair offers tune-ups, oil change and lubrication, small and large engine and transmission repair, wheel balancing, front end alignment, exhaust system replacement, air conditioning checks, auto inspections, and new tires. Stop by for a free estimate at Bears Repair, 904 Winchester Avenue in Martinsburg. Phone 262-0208. Bears Repair.
Remember when you were a little kid and saw your first deer?
Oh, how cute.
As an adult, maybe you've had a different experience.
Where'd that come from?
Bambi mess up your dream machine? Call Cody's Auto Body today at 304-901-4777 and get the work done right the first time. Cody's Auto Body, 851 Wilston Street in Martinsburg, has a team of auto body professionals with a lifetime of experience putting your ride back together again, regardless of how it got that way. Cody's Auto Body.
We're at Washington High School in Charlestown, West Virginia, and at the intermission, it is Martinsburg in front of the Washington Patriots, 34-0. Along with Matt Crawford, I'm Matt Miller, John Alderton, and Maria Amores running our cameras. Kira Anderson, our on-site engineer and producer. Donald Kinney and Colin McLaughlin are back at the studio. Our engineers there, and Colin is getting ready to come up with our halftime scoreboard show. But first, Matt, a recap of the scoring and some analysis from this first half. Martinsburg taking the opening possession. One play, 56 yards, 12 seconds. A 56-yard touchdown run for Braxton Todd. 7-0 Martinsburg. Washington's first possession, 3 plays and out. They go to punt, and there's a penalty. They have to punt again from their own end zone.
After what was a pretty good punt.
Yeah, that's right. You are
correct. It went about 30, 35 yards.
But it was a hold on that punt that backed him up. The punt was coming from the end zone. Snap took a little bit of time to get back. It was a little low. Punter goes down, gets it. In trouble, just trying to get that punt out of there. Literally has it taken off of his foot by Martinsburg's Hudson's Clement, and in the end zone. It's a touchdown, and Martinsburg leads 14-0. Next possession for Washington. They would punt. If punt would go only 12 yards, Martinsburg set up in good field position. Had a 3-play, 45-yard drive, an 8-yard touchdown run for Naeem Kearney. Made it 21-0. Martinsburg. The Dogs weren't done yet in quarter number 1. A 5-play, 56-yard drive capped by a 26-yard touchdown pass. That one going from Peyton Curry to Anthony Smith. The 2-point conversion failed, and at the end of quarter number 1, 27-0 Martinsburg.
And you got the feeling that, okay, this could be trouble. This could be ugly early. But credit the Washington offense and the Washington defense. The second quarter, they stepped up their game a little bit.
Yeah, they certainly did. Offensively, began to move the football, had a 9-play drive that took about 4 minutes off of the clock, had a 7-play drive that took about another 4 minutes off of the clock. While they didn't get points at the end of those drives, it did keep that Martinsburg offense off the field. And in quarter number 2, Martinsburg got just one more touchdown, a 5-play, 68-yard drive, and it was a 20-yard touchdown run for Kevon Warren. The extra point was up and good, and that is where we stand at the intermission. 34-0. Martinsburg really having their way here in this first half.
Yeah, they are, and it's been credit on the Washington side offensively. There was that long fumble forward that moved one of their offensive drives and kept it alive, and then a couple of penalties by that Martinsburg defense. But they've been able to take advantage, and again, haven't gotten on the scoreboard yet, but that second quarter, they were able to put together a couple of drives. Bryson Fleming, like we saw in week 1, doing a very good job when he gets the nod and gets the football. But, yeah, you can tell right now in this first half, Martinsburg clearly the superior team, doing it through the air a little bit, but not much. You'd like to see them connect on a couple more passes, especially 2 of those slants to Anthony Smith. But for the most part, defensively playing very, very sound. I've liked what I've seen by Martinsburg in the first half.
Hey, you're not going to believe it, but 103 passing yards between the two quarterbacks.
Well, again, it's been there, but again, you miss Anthony Smith on what would have been an easy touchdown on a slant by a ball that missed out in front of him, and then a second one by Kevon Warren. That first one by Peyton Curry, the second slant, Kevon Warren threw that one at the feet of Anthony Smith. So you connect on both of those, you have a couple of more passing yards. So just a couple of opportunities that were missed, but again, a bye week last week. You only had 2 games so far. Those will come as the season comes along.
Well, there you go. A little bit of analysis, the scoring recap from our first half. Right now, we're sending it back to the studio. Colin McLaughlin is standing by with our halftime scoreboard show brought to you by Bricks 27 in downtown Martinsburg. Not fine dining, but fun dining. Open soon for lunch. Find out more at bricks27.com. A 2-minute timeout as we go back to the studio. Colin McLaughlin next. Our score from here at Washington. Martinsburg leads it 34-0.
If you need to speak with a lawyer about an insurance claim or motor vehicle wreck, at Mansion Ferretti we rely on 100 years of combined personal injury and trial experience to win your case. There is no charge for meeting with us, and there is no fee unless we win. Mansion Ferretti excels because we are local, experienced in our courts, and always working hard to develop the personal relationship with clients that makes a difference. Call us at 304-264-8505 or go to wvjusticelawyers.com. At Mansion Ferretti, it's about seeking justice for you.
Like a successful football team, when it comes to choosing an effective representative in Charleston, experience matters. First elected in 2012, Delegate Paul Espinosa is the experienced, fiscally conservative voice Jefferson County needs, standing up for the issues we care about. In this crucial election year, when residents of the 66th District cast their vote for House of Delegates, the choice is clear. Re-elect Paul Espinosa. Paid for by Espinosa for Delegate, Mary C. Espinosa, Treasurer.
WVU Medicine is pleased to introduce 8 new providers at Berkeley Medical Center, Jefferson Medical Center, and University Healthcare Physicians. Dr. Christopher Ballou, Family Medicine. Dr. Zachary Yurt, General Surgery. Dr. Lindsay Grantham, OBGYN. Dr. Maninder Kaur, Pediatrics. Dr. Nicholas Michael, General Surgery. Dr. Jonathan Sherman, Neurosurgery. Dr. Koala Tahir, Cardiology. And Dr. Rebecca Thompson, Family Medicine. For more info on these providers, visit wvumedicine.org/physicians.
With 4 new car dealerships and 4 used car dealerships in 3 states, Parsons is the largest used car and fastest growing new car dealer in the tri-state area. Take Parsons Ford with huge savings on hundreds of new Fords, financing from 0%, Parsons' goal of financing for all, and Parsons' famous above-market trade-in allowances that help make Parsons #1 for used cars too. See why so many won't buy anywhere but Parsons Ford in Martinsburg. We became #1 by making you #1 first. Parsons.
Erie Insurance says here's to the grown-ups who move, mortgage, mow, and still bust a move. But does your home insurance still fit? Erie helps you protect the home you've grown into, all at fair prices that are often less than the other guys. So how do you find the right coverage? Magic. Nope. Local independent agents who get to know you like this.
Your local Erie agent in Martinsburg is Smallwood & Small Insurance. Get a quote at smallwoodandsmall.com.
Erie Insurance.
My name is Marshall Wilson. I'm the only independent serving in the West Virginia legislature, and I'm running for governor to uphold and defend the Constitution of the state of West Virginia and of the United States, because I want my children to raise their children in a free, just, prosperous, and secure land. If my children have that opportunity, yours will also. Look us up at marshallforwv.com. Please vote S. Marshall Wilson for governor. Thank you very much.
Write in S. Marshall Wilson for governor. Paid for by Marshall for WV.
Orsini's, not just an appliance store anymore. They're your one-stop resource for all home needs, whether it's custom kitchen design, countertops, or cabinets, or check out their new sleep studio with Tempur-Pedic, Sealy, and Stearns & Foster. For all of your outdoor living needs, Orsini's has Gladiator Garage Works, Traeger grills, barbecue accessories, barbecue rubs and sauces, and every flavor wood pellets. Visit their brand new 8,200 square foot showroom at 360 Hack Wilson Way, 304-267-7251, Orsinis.com.
At Anthony's Pizza Inwood location, nobody does it better. We make our own dough and we bake it fresh twice daily. That's freshly baked twice a day to make sure your pizza always tastes great. Take advantage of our Anthony's Pizza special offer. Get 2 large one-topping pizzas, just $17.99. And when you buy 3 12-inch subs, the 4th one's on us. For the best in freshly made pizzas, subs, calzones, stromboli, lasagna, and more, it's got to be Anthony's Pizza, 372 Middleway Pike in Inwood. Call 229-7373 for delivery, anthonysmenu.com.
With 4 new car dealerships and 4 used car dealerships in 3 states, Parsons is the largest used car and fastest growing new car dealer in the tri-state area. Take Parsons Ford with huge savings on hundreds of new Fords, financing from 0%, Parsons' goal of financing for all, and Parsons' famous above-market trade-in allowances that help make Parsons #1 for used cars too. See why so many won't buy anywhere but Parsons Ford in Martinsburg. We became #1 by making you #1 first. Parsons.
The Palace Lounge in Martinsburg offers hand-cut, locally sourced steaks, fresh seafood, and sandwiches with great daily specials like 75-cent wings all day Monday, prime rib on Tuesday, New York strip on Wednesday, and chef specials every Friday and Saturday. Ask for the lunch punch card and have lunch on the Palace Lounge on Edwin Miller Boulevard. And don't forget the Big Apple Lounge on Sater Drive in Inwood.
This is Eric from Hagerstown Ford. I want to thank you for your continued support of helping Hagerstown Ford's efforts to be #1 in the region. As we get closer to this extremely aggressive goal, I want to recap why Hagerstown Ford should be your only consideration when buying your next vehicle. #1, we have the best prices from Winchester, Virginia to Washington, D.C., from Hershey, Pennsylvania to Baltimore, Maryland. I assure you, price will not be the reason you don't buy from Hagerstown Ford. #2, we have a real return policy that's better than Walmart. Seriously, if you don't like it, return it. We'll give you 3 days to make sure you love your new ride. And finally, we'll bring your new car, truck, or SUV to you, just like Amazon does. Never step foot in a dealership again. Stop the silly back and forth negotiations that make everyone crazy. It's dumb, and it's a total waste of time. Besides, we hate it worse than you do. Simply log on to HagerstownFord.com and let us make your next buying process fun, easy, and risk-free. What do you got to lose? Visit HagerstownFord.com and let us cater to you. See dealer for details.
If you need to speak with a lawyer about an insurance claim or motor vehicle wreck, at Mansion Ferretti we rely on 100 years of combined personal injury and trial experience to win your case. There is no charge for meeting with us, and there is no fee unless we win. Mansion Ferretti excels because we are local, experienced in our courts, and always working hard to develop the personal relationship with clients that makes a difference. Call us at 304-264-8505 or go to wvjusticelawyers.com. At Mansion Ferretti, it's about seeking justice for you.
Well, we welcome you back into Terry L. Marcus Stadium. Our apologies for some technical difficulties with our halftime scoreboard show. Hopefully we'll be able to get those worked out and get you the post-game scoreboard show with Colin McLaughlin.
Real quick, just EPAC game.
You got it.
Spring Mills is leading Hedgesville at the half, 35-0. Musselman has the lead over Morgantown, 28-7. Frankfort and Jefferson, no score last updated in the second quarter.
Interesting.
So Jefferson being able to slow down that Frankfort offense, which got the better of Spring Mills last week. Again, we'll have a full update of those in the post-game scoreboard show. Also, games from around the Mountain State.
That sounds good. Our Mansion Ferretti Law Firm halftime show continues now with a look at some of the stats from the first half. They're brought to you by Dobson and Associates, PLLC, providing all of your back office needs, including accounting, payroll, and human resources. Hey, they want to be your back office. Give them a call at 304-264-0437 or stop by 217 West of Burke Street in Martinsburg. Well, Matt, let's begin with Washington, the home team, running 25 plays, 58 yards of offense in the first half, all rushing, none passing, as they were 0 for 2 in pass attempts. In 5 possessions, punted 3 times, twice turned it over on downs, had 4 first downs, penalized 3 times for 20 yards, 1 of 6 on third down conversions, 0 of 2 on fourth down conversions. Individually, let's start with a team carry for minus 10 yards on a high snap. Tommy Wogan, 5 carries for 19 yards in the first half. No official carry, but a gain of 15 yards for Colton Childress. Remember, he recovered that fumble on the run by Tommy Wogan and added those 15 additional yards. 5 carries, 21 yards in the first half for Bryson Fleming. 10 carries, 9 yards for quarterback Frankie Amore, and Amore 0 of 2 passing the football. For Martinsburg, the visiting team, 17 first half plays, but ready for the total, 254 yards of offense, 103 passing, 151 rushing. Martinsburg with 5 possessions, scored 4 touchdowns, and took the ball into the locker room at the half. 10 first downs for Martinsburg, penalized twice for 20 yards, and the Bulldogs faced 1 third down in the first half, and on a 3rd and 10 got a 26-yard touchdown pass, so converted on that only third down, did not face a 4th down. Martinsburg individually saw Kevon Warren carry 4 times for 73 yards, including a 20-yard touchdown. He also completed 3 of 5 passes for 55 yards. 2 completions in 4 attempts for 48 yards and a touchdown for Peyton Curry. Curry did not carry in the first half. A rush for 8 yards for Kazan Villa. 2 carries, 14 yards and a touchdown for Naeem Kearney, and 1 carry for 56 yards and a score for Braxton Todd. Receiving the football, 1 catch, 22 yards for Dorn Smith. 3 grabs, 64 yards and a touchdown for Anthony Smith. A catch for no yards for Hudson Clement. That's because after he caught it, he pitched it. And then Naeem Kearney picked up 17 yards after that on that little hook and ladder. There you go. So those are stats from the first half, and those stats brought to you by Dobson and Associates, PLLC. They want to be your back office. Give them a call at 304-264-0437 to learn more. All right, we've got one final timeout. We got another 2 minutes we got to take, and then we come back to get into our second half of action. Martinsburg leading at Washington at the half, 34-0.
Pete Dougherty will put Berkeley and Jefferson County first in the state Senate. Dougherty has spent 4 decades fighting for our children, seniors, and veterans while keeping the Eastern Panhandle safe from crime. As your senator, Dougherty will fight back against the Charleston establishment, ensure that police have the funding needed to protect our communities, repair our crumbling infrastructure and high-speed internet, and be a champion for public education. On November 3rd, let's tell Charleston there's a new sheriff in town. Vote Pete Dougherty for state Senate.
Let's talk trash, because when it comes to trash, you have options. Panhandle Dumpsters is a local family-owned garbage hauling company serving both residential and commercial customers with weekly trash pickup, dumpster service, yard waste pickup, and bulk pickups too. Panhandle Dumpsters will give you a free trash can and provide curbside service for just $23 a month. Panhandle Dumpsters features a fleet of quieter, eco-friendly garbage trucks, thereby reducing the noise usually associated with pickup. Switch now and save up to 30%. Call 833-DUMP-STR, panhandledumpsters.com.
Hey football fans, it's your friendly alarm professional, Ben Copenhaver with Dynamark Atlantic Security. Who do you trust to keep your family and valuables safe? Integrity, trust, and professionalism are all reasons why Dynamark is the choice for home and business security in the Eastern Panhandle. Dynamark is proud to serve the community and be your first choice for alarm solutions. Don't become a statistic of crime today. Phone Dynamark Security to protect your tomorrow. Phone 304-671-2158.
You need to keep your vehicle in good working order, but car and truck repairs can be very costly. Bears Repair in Martinsburg performs all kinds of auto repairs at prices most often well below their competition. Bears Repair offers tune-ups, oil change and lubrication, small and large engine and transmission repair, wheel balancing, front-end alignment, exhaust system replacement, air conditioning checks, auto inspections, and new tires. Stop by for a free estimate at Bears Repair, 904 Winchester Avenue in Martinsburg. Phone 262-0208. Bears Repair.
Getting ready for our second half kick. It's brought to you by Bears Repair, 904 Winchester Avenue in Martinsburg. For all of your automotive repair needs, call the certified mechanics at Bears Repair, 304-262-0208. Nathan Romer tees it up along the far side, hash mark at the 40-yard line, kicking from left to right, sends a deep ball on that far side, takes a few bounces, goes past Bryson Fleming, has to pick it up inside the 5-yard line, trying to get to that far sideline, will get forced out of bounds inside the 10. Where is it going to be? Wow, it looks like it's going to be, the 7-yard line, if that. So Washington starting deep in their own territory to start this second half.
And I'll be honest, I don't think there was 2 men back in the first half. But you got to think even that front line probably a little further up than usual because they're trying to adjust to get some of that blocking up front for Bryson Fleming. But backfiring right there, that was great placement on that kickoff.
Absolutely. Frankie Amore in there at quarterback, all by himself in the backfield. The snap will come from the 6-yard line.
3 wideouts, Matt.
He awaits that snap and lifts a leg, brings a man in motion. He's got it. He fakes that handoff to Wogan, keeps it, and Amore up the middle of the field, going to pick up a couple. So they spread the field a little bit, bring Tommy Wogan in motion, fake the give to him, wait for that opening up the middle of the field, and the quarterback able to pick up, we'll call it 2. Set it down at about the 8-yard line, a 2nd down and 8 coming. Again, being patient as they were in that first half, huddling up, taking as much time off that play clock as they can, trying to shorten this game. Amore again awaiting that snap, and just as Wogan goes in motion and the snap comes back, we've got flags and a procedure penalty. -5 on the procedure penalty. Just the 4th penalty, 25 yards on Washington on the night. That one is going to back them up. Set it down just outside of that 3-yard line. So very deep in their own territory. And it will become a 2nd down and about 12 and a half, close to 13. 2 backs now in the backfield. Snap goes back, and that's Amore coming here to the near side. Wow, gets taken down very quickly. Football popped free. It gets picked up. Let's see. It's a touchdown. As it looks like Braxton Todd may have been the one to hit him. Football popped out. Hudson Clement picked it up, stepped into the end zone. The Martinsburg defense gets a score, and that is our first candidate for our Cody's Body Shop collision of the game.
And man, it looks like Frankie Amore shaking up a little bit on that play as he's just kind of walking around the back corner of the end zone. And again, that was just a case of numbers. Amore had a couple of blockers pulling to this near side, looked like a tight end, and the 2 left offensive linemen. But there was 5, 6 Martinsburg Bulldogs flying to the football. And again, you can only block so many.
So the big hit, it looked like by Braxton Todd. The fumble picked up by Hudson Clement. He steps into the end zone. And that first turnover immediately turns into 7 points. Martinsburg again lining up in that spread along the offensive line. Snap goes back. Hold is down. Kick is up, and it looks like Romer who puts it through. So 10:39 to play in quarter number 3. We've got a 60-second break. Martinsburg now out in front, 41-0.
I am Lene Johnson, running for Jefferson County Commissioner. We all want our community to thrive through collaboration, inclusion, identifying common goals, and steering resources to where they are needed most. We can build a healthy environment and a more dynamic and productive economy for Jefferson County. It's important to reach constituents with factual, believable, and transparent information. When voters are informed, they act. When they act, we all win. Vote November the 3rd, Lene Johnson for Jefferson County Commissioner.
Paid for by candidate.
Former Charlestown City Council member Wayne Clark is running for the West Virginia 65th House of Delegates District. A local entrepreneur, Wayne Clark is best known as the owner and manager of Locust Hill Golf Course since 2014. He understands the importance of improving education, fighting the opioid crisis, and fostering small business and entrepreneurship. Find out more on his Facebook page at Clark for Delegate. Wayne Clark is looking for your support in the upcoming November 3rd general election. Paid for by candidate.
Well, the kickoff that time for Martinsburg coming from Brent Terwilliger. He's a 5'5", 125-pound sophomore, sending that one downfield for a short return for the Washington Patriots, and they will get the football. Let's see where they spot it at about the 21-yard line. Matt, I think Hudson Clement might be putting in for our player of the game, brought to you by McRae Heating and Air Conditioning. He has had a blocked punt for a touchdown and now has a defensive touchdown on a fumble recovery.
Watch out for Hudson Clement around the goal line. Let's just put it at that.
Absolutely. First down and 10 from their own 26-yard line. Handoff going. Bryson Fleming gets through the initial line of scrimmage, but then gets met by one of those linebackers. Actually, it's a defensive back. That was Dorn Smith who helped to wrap him up. They string that play out towards the sideline, and let's see if he got back to the line of scrimmage. Yep, that was it. So from the 21-yard line, I believe I may have said the 26 there a moment ago. It's actually the 21. Did I say that?
Neither player taking the low point of contact right there. Both standing straight up. Just more Dorn Smith, more just kind of guiding Bryson Fleming to the sideline.
Second and 10 from their own 21 as they break the huddle, and those red uniforms head to toe. Two backs in the backfield. Tight slot comes in motion. Little spinner play as Bryson Fleming fakes that give. Turns, comes near side. Power running up the near sideline beyond the 30 and mark his progress out close to the 34-yard line. He's going to pick up 13 in a first down.
It was a good seal by the left side of that offensive line. They all down blocked. The lead blocker coming through the hole was number 44. That's Colton Childress, and did a good job of, again, sealing that second tier linebacking core. Bryson Fleming also helping out his own cause right there, carrying a couple of tacklers with him for a few yards.
You got Fleming up to 34 yards with that 13-yard gain. Set it down at the 34 in Washington territory. 9:05 on a running third quarter clock. Our third quarter presented by Pete Dougherty, Democratic candidate for Senate in the 16th District. Frankie Amore looking for running room here to the near side, very quickly bottled up. He'll have a gain of about a yard before being taken down. Third quarter also presented by Smallwood Small Insurance, your total insurance solution. 121 Administrative Drive in Martinsburg.
With as much success as Bryson Fleming is having, finding some gaps in this Martinsburg defense, Frankie Amore has just not been able to get into a rhythm today at all.
I've got him at now 12 yards on 13 carries.
Yeah, so averaging less than a yard a carry.
Yeah, and that's not where he had been as Amore came in with an average of close to 9 yards carry, 68 carries, 672 yards.
Yeah.
From their own 36 on a second down and 8. Good hard running again for
Fleming,
the Washington tailback is Fleming. Just pushes his way, never got taken down, got bottled up, and eventually the whole pile driven sideways. They blow it dead at the 41-yard line after another 5-yard gain.
And, man, I think what you're seeing right here, the difference between Amore and Fleming is Bryson Fleming, when he sees the initial hole, takes it. Frankie Amore, what makes him so special, has what made him so special this year, is that he's been able to bounce around and let the play develop a little bit more. And with this Martinsburg defense, they're filling the gaps so quickly, he's just not able to do that, where Bryson Fleming gets the ball and is immediately running downhill.
On third down and 3, Fleming starts in motion out of the backfield. That is a lateral, so it will be a running play, and to his right, well, no place to go this time for Bryson Fleming, snowed under by a whole host of Bulldogs. A loss on that play as they set it back at the 39. That is -2. And again, that goes down as a carry because that was a clear lateral pass from our vantage point.
Yeah, and Martinsburg's defense is going to sniff that out immediately. You saw Fleming come in motion a little bit, and as the snap came, he kind of gingerly went to the outside. You could see that was going to be a swing pass and a quick out immediately. And again, that Martinsburg defense is going to sniff that out quickly.
Fourth down, roughly 5 yards to go for a first, and no indication that Washington will punt it out of there. Frankie Amore is in the backfield, and it looked like Cockrell who joined him, and now timeout being taken by Washington. Timeout brought to you by Lene Johnson, candidate for Jefferson County Commission. We'll take a 60-second break with 7:01 to play in the third, and Martinsburg leading 41-0.
Our dad taught us a lot about the law, but he taught us even more about life and people.
He taught us to treat clients like family. At the Skinner Law Firm, the firm our father started here in the Eastern Panhandle, we still believe that.
We also believe that everyone has the right to be protected from those who don't play by the rules.
We believe it's about helping people. Call us at the Skinner Law Firm, where we treat you like family.
They're my closest friends. We've been through a lot together. Seeing our kids off to college, Kelly losing her mom, my 50th birthday, I trust them with so much. So when it came to my finances, I trusted Kelly's referral to her Ameriprise advisor. Beth gives me the comprehensive advice that helps me feel confident my financial future is secure. With the right financial advisor, life can be brilliant. Ameriprise Financial.
So out of that Patriot timeout, after lining up as though they might go for it, it looks like they'll bring the punting unit on. I believe that's Griffin Price who is back to do the punting. He awaits that snap at about his own 26-yard line. Punting has been a bit of an adventure. Dogs look like they're coming. Snap is back. Punt is way high, end over end, short kick that's going to bounce at the 49 of Martinsburg, take a sideways bounce and go out of bounds pretty much right there. They may spot it at that 48-yard line, but either way, that is a tough punt that will cover only about 12 to 13 yards.
Yeah, high arcing, just didn't get any distance on it. Had very good hang time, just couldn't push it any further down the field. Is that one only going to net about, what, 10 yards?
Yeah, 12, it looks like, as they set it down. That's the second 12-yard punch of the Knights. They've had one that has gone 46 yards, and then, of course, the one that was blocked. They'll set it down right on that midfield stripe. 1st and 10 coming for Martinsburg, 6:40 to play third quarter. First time the Dog offense has been on the field in the second half. Kevon Warren back out there at quarterback. Naeem Kearney to his right side. Snap is back. Warren turns, throws to that far side, and it's an incomplete pass. Gave a little rollout look to the near side, turned and threw back across the field, but going down to try to get that one, Dorn Smith, but it was a little too low. Smith, it looked like almost dropped to a knee anyway. Had he caught it, I'm not sure he would have been able to get up and run with it.
Yeah, it would have been a tough play, and again, you look at what they've been able to do offensively today, but some of these throws, they're going to have to be improved. That's now the third one that's been relatively short range that you've got to be able to hit the receiver on the chest.
2nd down and 10, play action pass. Kevon Warren throwing near side. That catch is made. That's Anthony Smith down the near sideline to the 30, cuts back to his left at the 25, and then gets wrapped up and taken down there. Austin Sharp with a nice open field tackle. Mark it at the 23.
Yeah, we saw some very nifty moves earlier for Anthony Smith when he got into the open field. That was a good job by Sharp, just breaking down, going for the knees and lower, just trying to trip up Anthony Smith. Did a good job, good open field tackle. But a nice game by Smith as well.
Yeah, 27 yards.
And good blocking upfield as well for Martinsburg.
First down and 10, handoff Naeem Kearney, turns the corner outside the numbers on this near side of the field. They scrimmage from the 23, and Kearney gets down inside the 15 and to the 10-yard line. He'll pick up 13 and a Bulldog first down. Martinsburg working quickly once they get that football set. A little more hurry-up offense from the Dogs. On 1st down and goal to go from the 10-yard line. Kevon Warren has that shotgun snap. He's going to throw the fade to the far back corner of the end zone, and the ball tipped up into the air and then incomplete. Frankie Amore out there trying to stay with Dorn Smith. Frankie Amore listed at 5'8", Dorn Smith for Martinsburg, going about 6'4", and Smith's size able to help him get to that football, but just couldn't bring it in.
Yeah, but again, good job almost boxing out a little bit for Frankie Amore, just making it a little bit harder for Smith to go up and make that catch.
With the incompletion, sets up now a 2nd down goal to go from the 10. Ball along the near side hash mark. That was a long throw to that far side of the field.
It was, across the field, yeah.
Kevon Warren taking that snap. He's going to run to the near side, breaks a tackle at about the 7, pushes forward down inside the 5. A whole host of Washington defenders help to bring him down at close to the 3.
Yeah, Bryson Fleming, the first one to make contact, kind of stayed along for the ride for a few yards before a couple of teammates were able to come over and help make that tackle.
So 7 yards on that carry for Kevon Warren, lifts him to 80 yards on 5 carries on the night. And Martinsburg will face their second 3rd down of the evening. 3rd down goal to go from the 3, and hold on. I think they're going to reset the football. Yeah, they had it set closer to the 4. They're going to bring it down now to that 3-yard line. Kevon Warren out of the gun. Looking to throw far side. Too high, and the pass almost intercepted. Wow, that one went off the hands of Hudson Clement, and then Frankie Amore almost brought it in on the deflection with nothing but turf in front of him. It's incomplete.
Yeah, I think that would have been 6 going back the other way for Frankie Amore, and he's going to want that one back.
Oh, my.
And that ball overthrown from Hudson Clement, or to Hudson Clement. Again, quarterbacks and receivers got to get on the same page.
Yeah.
There's been some good throws tonight, but that's on number 4 on a relatively short throw that's been off the target.
Now let's see what the Dogs do. They'll go for it on that 4th and goal from the 3. Kevon Warren rolling to his left, finds an opening, cuts up into the end zone. It's a Martinsburg Bulldog touchdown. So the Dogs go for it and convert on that 4th down and goal to go from the 3-yard line. 7 plays it takes the Dogs to cover 50 yards and get in the end zone on their first possession of this second half. So far, they've scored on every possession except when they took the ball into the locker room at the intermission.
And that's just such a tough play for the Washington defense. You got Smith on the outside on what would have been a little bit of a longer, but still kind of an option route if Warren was going to go that direction. So you got to be honest with that one, but also know that if you play that too far to the outside, Kevon Warren's going to take it himself like he did right there up the middle.
Looks like that may once again be Terwilliger on for the PAT. He had a kickoff after the last score, and yep, it is Terwilliger, and he puts it up and through. 4 minutes, 12 seconds left here in quarter number 3. We will take a 60-second break and then come back with the Martinsburg lead now at 48-0.
The Palace Lounge in Martinsburg offers hand-cut, locally sourced steaks, fresh seafood, and sandwiches with great daily specials like 75-cent wings all day Monday, prime rib on Tuesday, New York strip on Wednesday, and chef specials every Friday and Saturday. Ask for the lunch punch card and have lunch on the Palace Lounge on Edwin Miller Boulevard. And don't forget the Big Apple Lounge on Sater Drive in Inwood.
When it comes to breast cancer, early detection is the key to saving lives. The first 4 Saturdays in October, WVU Medicine is offering 3D mammogram screening clinics to women 40 and older at our women's imaging centers in Ranson and Spring Mills for just $60. This discounted fee is designed to help patients who haven't met their deductible, whose insurance doesn't include a mammogram with an annual exam, or for those with no insurance. Schedule your 3D mammogram with WVU Medicine today by calling 1-888-802-2734, option 2.
Well, action getting underway very quickly after that Martinsburg touchdown. Drive summary brought to you by Delegate Jason Barrett. Re-elect Jason Barrett in the 61st Delegate District. 7 plays, 50 yards, 2 minutes, 28 seconds. 3 yards to touchdown run for Kevon Warren. 2nd of the night, 4th of the season. And after the ensuing kickoff, a short return for Washington, and they'll take over at their own 25-yard line. It'll be 1st down and 10. 3:34 to play in our third quarter, brought to you by Pete Dougherty, Democrat candidate for Senate in the 16th District. 2 backs in the backfield. Man comes in motion. There's the snap back, and the inside quick handoff, and no place to go. That was Bryson Fleming that took that snap. He faked as though he might give to the man who came in motion, and instead handed it off to Frankie Amore, who got hit immediately and gets taken down. They'll mark it at the 21 minus 4 yards. Our third quarter also brought to you by Smallwood Small Insurance, your total insurance solution. 121 Administrative Drive in Martinsburg. Wow. That play got busted up very quickly. 2nd down, 14 yards for a first. Now 14 carries, 8 yards for Frankie Amore, as Martinsburg has really been able to hold him down in this one.
Yeah, take away Bryson Fleming. This Washington offense really doesn't have a whole lot of yards to speak for in this game.
2nd down and 14, and Bryson Fleming taking that direct snap, gets through a tackle by Hudson Clement in the backfield, but there's just no place to go. Martinsburg stringing that play out here to this left side again, making the stop in the backfield. Inside the 20, mark it down close to the 18. That's minus 3 more and brings up a 3rd and 17.
Vrobel doing a good job leading the way right there, but again, it's just a matter of numbers. Martinsburg getting too many heads to the football, and for Washington, it's just a matter of trying to block 1-on-4 at certain times when those plays are bounced to the outside. Those aren't good averages no matter who you're playing.
No, not at all. Hey, by the way, I think our opening play of the game has to be our big candidate so far for the electrifying play of the game, brought to you by Orsini's on Hack Wilson Way in Martinsburg. 3rd down and 17. Snap goes back, and that is Bryson Fleming, met and brought down at the 10-yard line. Hudson Clement, the linebacker, came rifling in there, hit him at the 14, drove him backwards, so they'll mark the progress for just a 4-yard loss back to the 14. But, Matt, on this possession, 3 plays minus 11 yards, and the punting unit's coming on.
Yeah, we see just about every drive we've at least seen Washington be able to put together a couple of plays. They're moving the ball forward. At that time, the offensive line, I don't know whether it's a little bit of fatigue setting in for the offensive line or not, but that defensive line of Martinsburg looking very strong right now as we are a minute away from the end of the 3rd quarter.
Griffin Price ready to punt that football out of there. Awaiting the snap at about the 2-yard line, gets it away, but it's a wobbly kind of kick that hits at the 20 and then spins at the 22-yard line. Will be touched there. I believe that's Bryson Fleming, and another punt that will cover only about 10 yards.
Just no time.
No.
For Griffin Price, he just doesn't have time to get a good punt away. Again, that front line for Martinsburg just showing the power, showing the speed. They're getting in his face in about 2 seconds. Just not giving Griffin Price the time he needs. Again, you're seeing just a different level of talent here right now, a different level of size and speed for Martinsburg.
From the 22 of Washington, backfield as the quarterback now goes up under center. That's Peyton Curry out there. He'll hand it off, and the second man through is Braxton Todd, and he gets wrestled down after a short gain. Mark him down to the 19, a pickup of 3. That is the first carry for Braxton Todd since the 56-yarder that opened the game that we said may very well be our electrifying play of the game. So he picks up 3. The Dogs again will go to that stick eye. From the 18-yard line on a 2nd down and 7. Handoff again to Braxton Todd. That's Shallis out there as the fullback leading the way off the left side of the line. Braxton Todd bouncing it outside of the hash marks, between the hash marks and the numbers inside the 10, and gets down close to the 7-yard line. That would be a gain of 11 and a Bulldog first.
Man, that's going to be the last play of the 3rd quarter with the Dogs up 48-0. With that score, for the first time this year, we'll have a running clock in quarter number 4.
We'll get that 4th quarter started after this 60-second break. At the end of 3 here at Washington, it's Martinsburg in the lead, 48-0.
I'm Storm Shiley Frame, and I'm running to serve the 66th District in the West Virginia House of Delegates. Homegrown in Jefferson County, wife, mother, teacher, and realtor, I understand what the 66th District needs. Investment for safer roads, dependable broadband internet, quality public education, and common sense legislation to attract responsible businesses and protect our natural resources. My opponent, Paul Espinosa, seems to think his job is to protect corporations instead of the interests of the people he represents. I'm Storm Shiley Frame. I can't be bought, and as your delegate, I will work for you.
I'm Natalie Tennant. As West Virginians, we'll get through this crisis together. We've been knocked down before, and we get back up. I've been there with you, and I'll be there again working for a better future like I did as Secretary of State. By modernizing the office, I saved you money and gave it back, lowered fees and helped businesses create jobs, and made voting easier. We need that kind of leadership again. It takes courage, vision, and cooperation. I know we can do this, West Virginia. I believe in you.
To start our 4th quarter. They set it down at the 7-yard line where it's 1st and goal for the Dogs. Again, that backfield, clock already winding. There is the snap. Curry hands it off. Deep man in that eye is Braxton Todd. Gets taken down at the 2-yard line. He'll pick up 5 more, and he has been the workhorse in this possession. 2nd down and goal to go. Gain of 5 on that one gives him 4 carries for 75 yards.
Peyton Curry had a little bit of trouble getting the play in from the sideline. Had to jog about halfway back to make sure he got the right one.
I like this look. Very interesting.
I was going to say, I'm a big fan of the power eye right here.
Yeah, Cam Shallis, 5'11", 220, a sophomore linebacker.
He's got that fullback build, though, doesn't he?
Oh, absolutely.
Big shoulders, big legs.
Again, that eye backfield, and Peyton Curry throwing near side and leaping up into the air. The touchdown catch is made by Dorn Smith, as again he used that height over Frankie Amore to go up and get it for the score.
And again, that's just a matter of size. Throw a jump ball, you expect a guy like Dorn Smith, who we just talked about the height advantage, 6'4", where Frankie Amore only comes in at 5'8". You throw that up, and you like the 6-inch or 8-inch height difference right there.
Second touchdown pass for Curry on the night. Had a 26-yarder to Anthony Smith back in that first half. Completes this one to Dorn Smith, and for Dorn Smith, his first touchdown reception of the year. And that's Romer back in there for the PAT. He puts it up and through, and we will take a 60-second break. We've got 10:40 remaining on a running clock in this fourth quarter with Martinsburg in front 55-0.
At Anthony's Pizza Inwood location, nobody does it better. We make our own dough and we bake it fresh twice daily. That's freshly baked twice a day to make sure your pizza always tastes great. Take advantage of our Anthony's Pizza special offer. Get 2 large one-topping pizzas, just $17.99. And when you buy 3 12-inch subs, the 4th one's on us. For the best in freshly made pizzas, subs, calzones, stromboli, lasagna, and more, it's got to be Anthony's Pizza, 372 Middleway Pike in Inwood. Call 229-7373 for delivery, anthonysmenu.com.
Erie Insurance says here's to the grown-ups who move, mortgage, mow, and still bust a move. But does your home insurance still fit? Erie helps you protect the home you've grown into, all at fair prices that are often less than the other guys. So how do you find the right coverage? Magic. Nope. Local independent agents who get to know you like this.
Your local Erie agent in Martinsburg is Smallwood & Small Insurance. Get a quote at smallwoodandsmall.com.
Erie Insurance.
By Bryson Fleming along the far side between the hash marks and the numbers around the 15. Gets to that far sideline now close to the 30. Taken down there. Washington will have the football. Drive summary, a service of Delegate Jason Barrett. Re-elect Jason Barrett in the 61st Delegate District. 4 plays, 22 yards, 2 minutes, 6 seconds. A 2-yard touchdown pass from Peyton Curry to Dorn Smith. 55-0. Martinsburg out in front. 9 minutes on a running fourth quarter clock. From the 29-yard line, their own 29, Washington football. 2 backs in that backfield. Tight slot to the right. Wide out here to this near side as well. Frankie Amore, reverse pivot, throws deep along that far side, and incomplete. And again, a lot of bumping and hand checking going on with Dorn Smith guarding the receiver. Is that
Jimmy Williams, number 4? Yeah. That was the intended target. And the last time there was some contact going up the field.
So 0 of 3 passing for Frankie Amore on the night. 2nd down and 10 coming. That was somewhat of a jump ball. Neither guy really had a good chance to go get it.
Yeah, Matt, you can definitely see fatigue starting to set in on this Washington offensive line. As soon as that ball is snapped, they're all basically standing straight up, not getting a whole lot of leverage on that defensive line.
2nd and 10 from the 29-yard line. Very quickly, Bryson Fleming taken down as Kevon Warren got into the backfield. Tackle comes back around the 21, but it looks like they're going to mark progress. Well, put it at the 22, -7.
Yeah, when you see 6 heads around the football and 3 offensive linemen standing near the line of scrimmage with nobody around them, that's never a good sign that you got a good block up front.
So now from the 22, a 3rd down and 17. Washington 1 of 8 on 3rd down conversions on the night. Clock winding, 7:30 and counting in this one. On 3rd and long, snap goes back. Frankie Amore running to his left. Gives a little ground, now gets an opening. He's up across the 25 and the 30. Hit from behind outside the 35. Let's see where they mark him. Looks like he did go out of bounds close to that 37-yard line. That would be a gain of 15 and just short of what he needed for the first.
Best run we've seen for Frankie Amore all day. They got that seal on the far side, and he had a couple blockers already working into the 2nd and 3rd level of the defense, and that's what made that play. Also a nice little juke in the middle of that play as Amore stepped back more to the inside a little bit, cutting back towards the numbers. Good run for Frankie.
So 4th down and about 2 yards to go for a 1st down. And, yeah, the biggest run of the night for Frankie Amore, who had just 8 yards on 14 carries prior to that. Now up to 23 yards on 15 carries on 4th down and 2. Snap is back. Running here is Tommy Wogan, it looks like, and he's through a hole into the secondary. He is dragging a tackler ahead and then lost the football at the end of it. That's a great play by a Martinsburg defender to knock it free. It's picked up by Dorn Smith. We've got a penalty marker down as Dorn Smith trying to make something happen, and eventually will get tackled all the way back at the 26-yard line. He gave up about 15 yards just trying to find a way to make a big return.
And that's going to be a block in the back is what that penalty is going to be on Martinsburg. But you feel for Tommy Wogan right there. It was a good run, just could not hold on to the football. Hasn't carried the football an awful lot tonight, so hasn't really gotten in that rhythm at all. You would have loved to have seen him hold on to the football. Would have been another good run on this drive.
Yeah, not sure who that Bulldog defender was. Could not get my eyes on that number. It may have been a 3-2 Eric King. I could get a 3 out of it, but he was the one being dragged from behind. But what he eventually did in being dragged from behind was get that right hand in there and punch that football free. So Martinsburg will have it. They will lose some yardage on the penalty. But right now a chance to run some offense. And let's see if they go back to that stick eye. We're down to about 5:20 remaining on that running clock in this one. So 1st and 10 from their own 16-yard line. On 1st down. Now they're going to the spread offense. Who's out there at quarterback? That's a 12.
1-2, yep. And Murphy Clement.
Deep throw along that far side. Hash mark and caught at the 50-yard line by Kazon Villa. So you got a couple of youngsters out there. Murphy Clement, a freshman, going to Kazon Villa, who's also a freshman.
That bodes well if you're looking at the future of Martinsburg football.
Oh, my goodness. Yes, it does, as that play goes to the 49-yard line, so that's good for 35 yards.
Good throw by Clement as well.
Yeah, very accurate.
First throw of the day, stepped into it well.
And he wants to throw a slant along the near side and incomplete again. Trying to get that one. That's not Villa. That's a 1-7. That's Roman Pearson listed as a wideout. He's a sophomore. So Pearson trying to pull that one in, but just a little out in front. And the Dogs need some work on those slants.
Just have not been able to connect on the short ones today.
So from the 49 of Washington after the incompletion. 2nd down and 10. Clement out of the gun, takes that snap, hands it off. Running back looking for room to the right. Penalty marker comes in as that running back. Xavion Kendall, who is a 5'7" sophomore. Picked up about 3 or 4 yards, but I think we're going to have a hold.
Yeah, that one coming in the area of a hold, and that's what it's going to be.
So Martinsburg with a couple of second-half penalties have now committed 4 penalties for 40 yards in this one. So they'll lose 10 on this hold, take it back to the 41 in their own territory, make it roughly 2nd down and 20. There is the snap back. Clement dumps it off and incomplete. Looked like they might have been trying to set up some kind of a screen.
Yeah, it looked like it was going to be a screen to Kazon Villa, who was coming. It looked like almost a slant screen.
Yeah.
It wasn't the traditional wide receiver screen where they stay on the line of scrimmage. Villa came a few yards over the middle before he stopped and planted, and definitely had some linemen upfield ready to block for him.
So from their own 41-yard line, it'll bring up 3rd down and 20. Murphy Clement staying out there. Has Kendall now to his right side, 2 receivers to each side of the formation. Clement's going to keep it. Gave the little handoff fake and then turns the corner on that right side, getting to the Bulldogs sideline before eventually being taken down. And it looks like they'll spot him out close to the 48, so that gain's good for, well, make it 6 as they set it down at the 47-yard line.
Under 2:30 now to play in the football game, so just a handful of snaps left.
And the Dogs, let's see, are they going to send the punting man out there?
That's what it looks like. Definitely looks like a line change coming out, so.
Waiting to see who's going to do that punting with Jarvis Thurston not available. That's Jaden Togans. He is a junior who will do the punting. So it looks like, pardon me, Togans back at about the 38. Awaits that snap back. He's got it helmet high, a little controlled roll to that far side, gets that kick away, and it's going to go out of bounds all the way over onto the track. So now it's up to the official where he might want to spot this one.
And I do love how much of a judgment call that is by the officials. All right, where do you think it went out as it was going out?
They'll set it at the 39 in Washington territory, so that punt covers only about 14 yards.
The best is the NFL when they have that little bean bag that they just toss where they think the ball went out of it. You have that is a complete guess, and a complete guess on the toss as you're throwing it. But hey, it looks official, so we're going to keep doing it. 90 seconds left in this football game. Martinsburg going to get back up to 500 on the season. Washington going to fall game under.
From their own 39 on 1st and 10, Washington football, good, hard running over top of the right side of the line. The ball carrier going to pick up 6 yards. Is that Amore again?
It is. That's a 7. And again,
I was waiting for you. There was your chance. That's Amore.
That's Amore. To the Dean Martin. But again, Washington doesn't quit in football games.
No, not at all. Nope, you love the grit and the determination in this team.
They want to get better each time they take a snap.
From about the 46-yard line, a second down, we'll call it 3. That is Bryson Fleming off the right side of the line. He's got the first down. Bryson Fleming going to get to the midfield stripe and into Martinsburg territory to the 48. So he picks up about 6 yards on that one. 1st and 10 coming. And it looks like they will try to get another snap off. There is that snap back, and again it's Bryson Fleming looking for running room to the left and gets taken down. May have lost the football on that one. They're going to stay down by contact with 20 seconds on that running clock. I'm not sure they'll get another play off.
Well, it's going to be completely up to Coach Glenn Simpson if they do, and it certainly doesn't look like they are. But, again, another gritty effort for Washington. The Martinsburg going to stay undefeated against the Patriots in school history.
They have Martinsburg improving to 13-0 all time in these matchups as the Martinsburg Bulldogs get back into the win column. By the way, our fourth quarter, a speedy one with that running clock, brought to you by Storm Shiley Frame, Democrat candidate for West Virginia House of Delegates District 66, and by Natalie Tennant, Democrat candidate for West Virginia Secretary of State. We'll take a 2-minute timeout, return to Terry L. Marcus Stadium on the campus of Washington High School as we get into our post-game show after this break. Your final tonight, it is Martinsburg 55 and Washington nothing.
I'm Storm Shiley Frame, and I'm running to serve the 66th District in the West Virginia House of Delegates. Homegrown in Jefferson County, wife, mother, teacher, and realtor, I understand what the 66th District needs. Investment for safer roads, dependable broadband internet, quality public education, and common sense legislation to attract responsible businesses and protect our natural resources. My opponent, Paul Espinosa, seems to think his job is to protect corporations instead of the interests of the people he represents. I'm Storm Shiley Frame. I can't be bought, and as your delegate, I will work for you.
This November, be a part of change and help elect Tony Petrucci to the Berkeley County Council.
With my experience and conservative background, I feel I can serve the people well. I have maintained a very conservative and practical approach to handle the county. To put it plainly, I want the county to be prosperous and its citizens healthy and safe.
Tony's first term was described as leaving behind a reputation of fairness and fiscal responsibility. And when you vote Petrucci, you're voting for fiscal responsibility, health and safety, citizen involvement, and economic growth. This November, vote Tony Petrucci.
Paid for by candidate.
Looking to buy a home in the Eastern Panhandle? Having trouble getting your house sold? Then call Chris Ross and the Milestone Real Estate Group at Keller Williams. A Martinsburg High School graduate, Chris knows the local market, and he's proven it as the #1 real estate team in West Virginia in 2019. Milestone Real Estate Group at Keller Williams. Phone 304-579-7349 or go to callchrisross.com. Let's celebrate your real estate milestone together.
Hey football fans, it's your friendly alarm professional, Ben Copenhaver with Dynamark Atlantic Security. Who do you trust to keep your family and valuables safe? Integrity, trust, and professionalism are all reasons why Dynamark is the choice for home and business security in the Eastern Panhandle. Dynamark is proud to serve the community and be your first choice for alarm solutions. Don't become a statistic of crime today. Phone Dynamark Security to protect your tomorrow. Phone 304-671-2158.
Welcome you back into Terry L. Marcus Stadium on the campus of Washington High School in Charlestown, West Virginia. Time to get into our postgame, brought to you by the Palace Lounge on Edwin Miller Boulevard in Martinsburg. They feature a full lunch and dinner menu with daily evening specials from 5 to 9. It's served in a clean, comfortable atmosphere. Check out the full menu on the Palace Lounge Facebook page. All right, along with Matt Crawford, I'm Matt Miller, John Alderton, and Maria Amores running cameras tonight. Kira Anderson, our on-site producer, Donald Kinney, Colin McLaughlin back at the studio. Colin standing by. We've got the sound problem fixed from halftime. He'll have our post-game scoreboard show in just a bit. Matt, let's recap the scoring. All Martinsburg in a 55-0 victory. Dogs got it started opening play of the game. Braxton Todd 56 yards to make it a 7-0 Bulldog lead. They would make it 14-0 when Hudson Clement would take the ball literally right off the foot of the punter in the end zone. That touchdown made it 14-0. Then it was an 8-yard touchdown run for Naeem Kearney to make it 21-0, and a 26-yard touchdown pass, Peyton Curry to Anthony Smith, 27-0 Martinsburg at the end of quarter number one. In the second quarter, a little better job by the Washington offense controlling the football. Couldn't get points, but got some first downs, ran some time off the clock, and held Martinsburg to just one score in that second quarter, a 20-yard touchdown run for Kevon Warren. 34-0 Martinsburg led at the half. The third quarter got underway with Washington fumbling the football deep in their own territory. There he was again. Hudson Clement picks that one up and takes it in from just a yard or two out. 41-0 would be the Martinsburg lead. They would make it 48-0 with 4:12 to play in the third. A 3-yard touchdown run for Kevon Warren, his second of the night. 48-0 would be the score as we went into the fourth quarter with that running fourth quarter clock, and Martinsburg got their final points on a 2-yard touchdown pass as Peyton Curry hit Dorn Smith to make the final 55-0.
This is the fourth straight game between these two teams in which Martinsburg has shut out Washington. I know you look at 55-0, and we'll get to the overall stats here in a minute, but seeing the last three, I do think this is the best we've seen Washington play. And again, you look at 55 and go, well, it doesn't matter. It does, because you're seeing a progression of a team.
Yes.
I still think, I said at the beginning of the year, I think this is a Washington Patriot team that could be a playoff team. So while you look at the 55-0, yes, it was not a great game on the scoreboard, but you do see the progression of this Washington team over the last couple of years. And when you talk to Glenn Simpson, that's what he's been looking for, the deposits and the withdrawals. And again, this isn't going to go down as a win, but you're starting to see that progression. For Martinsburg, this was a very good bounce-back game. They came out and took care of business. This is what this game should have looked like when you look at the town, when you look at the size. This is what this game should have looked like. So they came out after what was a tough one 2 weeks ago against Spring Valley, had to sit on that one, had an unexpected bye week, and came out and took care of business tonight, get back above 500, and did what they should have done here tonight.
So there you go, Martinsburg getting the victory as they improve to 2-1 for the Washington Patriots. They fall back below the 500 mark now at 2 wins and 3 losses on the season. Next up for this Washington team, another tough one. They'll be here at home against Frankfort. For Martinsburg, a tough one as well, scheduled on the road at Spring Mills. We'll talk more about those games a little later on in our post-game show, brought to you by the Palace Lounge on Edwin Miller Boulevard in Martinsburg. Let's take a 2-minute break, come back. We'll run some of the numbers from this one. Again, your final from here at Washington. Martinsburg gets the win 55-0.
The Palace Lounge in Martinsburg offers hand-cut, locally sourced steaks, fresh seafood, and sandwiches with great daily specials like 75-cent wings all day Monday, prime rib on Tuesday, New York strip on Wednesday, and chef specials every Friday and Saturday. Ask for the lunch punch card and have lunch on the Palace Lounge on Edwin Miller Boulevard. And don't forget the Big Apple Lounge on Sater Drive in Inwood. Former Charlestown City Council member Wayne Clark is running for the West Virginia 65th House of Delegates District. A local entrepreneur, Wayne Clark is best known as the owner and manager of Locust Hill Golf Course since 2014. He understands the importance of improving education, fighting the opioid crisis, and fostering small business and entrepreneurship. Find out more on his Facebook page at Clark for Delegate. Wayne Clark is looking for your support in the upcoming November 3rd general election. Paid for by candidate.
W. Harley Miller Systems understands the need and desire for reliable and affordable smart home solutions. Secure your home with a security system and keep a close eye on your family. Automate your home with a Control4 system and have smart technology work as one. Set daily schedules to control your thermostats. Push a button and set the mood for dinner by dimming lights and playing music, or just sit back and enjoy a movie in your own home theater. Put decades of experience to work for you. Visit us at WHMsystems.com or call 304-350-1931.
Energy is something you never really think about, even though you use it every day. With Roach Energy's no run-out guarantee and 24-hour customer support, that's just the way we like it. So when you think about it, call Roach Energy for all your oil and propane needs. Ask about our pre-buy and budget programs. Roach Energy, 304-262-4271.
We welcome you back in again here to Washington High School. Our post-game show brought to you by the Palace Lounge. And now a chance to take a look at some of the final numbers in this one. They are a service of Dynamark Atlantic Security, who remind you, don't be a statistic. Protect your family, home, and business with the local alarm professionals at Dynamark Atlantic Security. All right, Matt, let's begin with the Washington Patriots. If I can find my Washington sheet. Yeah, there it is. I got
you didn't put it away already,
too many sheets over here. I got them all mixed up. So I had Washington in the first half running 25 plays for 58 yards. In the second half, 17 plays, 51 additional yards. That's 42 total plays for 109 yards. That breaks down to about 2.7 yards per play. No passing yards, as Frankie Amore went 0 for 3 trying to throw the football. All 109 yards were rushing yards. Washington 1 of 9 on third down conversions, 0 of 3 on fourth down conversions. 2 turnovers in the second half, one leading directly to points as the fumble was recovered right near the goal line, a yard or two out, taken in by Hudson Clement, and the other fumble late in the ball game, did not end up leading to Martinsburg points, but once again, a fumble that was recovered this time by Dorn Smith. Individually, you got to love the hard running of Bryson Fleming. I know the numbers are not going to jump out at you. 14 carries, 29 yards.
Is that all?
That was it. That's because of some minus yards rushing in the latter part of this game. But really.
I'd love to know what his gains, what his gain was.
Right.
Not just net yards, but what he gained. Because, man, it certainly seemed like he rushed for an awful lot more than that. But again, maybe that's just the ones that broke the line of scrimmage.
It certainly did. Tommy Logan, 42 yards on 6 carries, but of course he got 23 of that on the long carry, where he ended up having the ball popped out from behind. And Frankie Amore, we had him at 16 carries for 30 yards for the Patriots. Again, 0 of 3 passing the football. For Martinsburg, they had 17 plays in the first half for 254 yards. In the second half, 15 plays for 112 yards. The total was 32 plays, 366 yards, or an average of just about 11.4 yards per play. Martinsburg only faced 3 third downs in this game tonight, and we had them, pardon me,
had
one
them
for 3.
once.
Yeah. And they had 1 fourth down, and that was a 4th and goal at the 3. Kevon Warren took that one in for a score. So the Dogs 1 of 3 on third downs, 1 of 1 on fourth downs, and they scored on every possession except for their possession right at the end of the game where they punted, and a possession where they took it into the locker room at the half. Looking at some individual numbers, Kevon Warren would go with 6 carries, 83 yards, and a couple of rushing touchdowns. 3 pass completions in 5 attempts for 50 yards and 2 scores for Peyton Curry. Kevon Warren throwing the football 4 of 9 for 82 yards. And at the end of the game, they brought in the freshman, Murphy Clement went 1 for 3 passing for 35 yards as he hit another freshman, Kazon Villa, for that 35-yard pass completion. 4 carries, 75 yards, and a 56-yard touchdown run for Braxton Todd, and also 3 carries for 27 yards in the ball game for Naeem Kearney. Kearney had an 8-yard touchdown run. There you go. Just some of the numbers from this one as Martinsburg gets the 55-0 victory, and they improve to 2-1 on the season.
Back above 500. Washington going to fall a game underneath. But again, I still think I think you will see both of these teams in the playoffs coming up later this year. Now, again, if the SSAC comes out and says everybody makes the playoffs, I look like a genius.
You do.
But I think if they stay in the same format, 16 teams, I do believe both of these teams will be in the playoffs.
All right, we'll talk about it as we look ahead to the schedule for both of these teams. We will talk a little bit about some awards we need to give out. Collision of the game, the electrifying play of the game, player of the game. We'll do that as well. Set you up for our next broadcast after we take this 2-minute time out. The Look at the Numbers brought to you by Dynamark Atlantic Security. They have the solutions to meet your needs and local monitoring, too. Find out more by contacting our friend Ben Copenhaver at 304-671-2158. Back in 2 minutes. Again, your final, Martinsburg 55, Washington nothing.
John Purdue never dreamed he'd go to college, let alone become one of the best state treasurers. John Purdue brought back financial integrity and transparency to the treasurer's office. He created the highly successful Smart 529 College Savings Program, and under his watch has returned more than $230 million in unclaimed property. He's created the 457 Retirement Program and WV Able, and his Board of Treasury Investments has the highest rating from Standard & Poor's.
I'm John Purdue, and I've never forgotten that I worked for you.
I'm Natalie Tennant. As West Virginians, we'll get through this crisis together. We've been knocked down before, and we get back up. I've been there with you, and I'll be there again working for a better future like I did as Secretary of State. By modernizing the office, I saved you money and gave it back, lowered fees and helped businesses create jobs, and made voting easier. We need that kind of leadership again. It takes courage, vision, and cooperation. I know we can do this, West Virginia. I believe in you.
Our dad taught us a lot about the law, but he taught us even more about life and people.
He taught us to treat clients like family. At the Skinner Law Firm, the firm our father started here in the Eastern Panhandle, we still believe that.
We also believe that everyone has the right to be protected from those who don't play by the rules.
We believe it's about helping people. Call us at the Skinner Law Firm, where we treat you like family.
I am Lene Johnson, running for Jefferson County Commissioner. We all want our community to thrive through collaboration, inclusion, identifying common goals, and steering resources to where they are needed most. We can build a healthy environment and a more dynamic and productive economy for Jefferson County. It's important to reach constituents with factual, believable, and transparent information. When voters are informed, they act. When they act, we all win. Vote November the 3rd, Lene Johnson for Jefferson County Commissioner.
Paid for by candidate.
All right, back for our final segment on our Palace Lounge post-game show. Then we'll send it back to the studio. Colin McLaughlin standing by. We've got the technical difficulties from halftime worked out. You'll hear everything.
We hoped.
This go around. He'll tell us what's going on around the EPAC and the Mountain State to wrap up our broadcast tonight. But right now, we need to give out some awards. Let's start with the electrifying play of the game. I think Braxton Todd is getting both of these because that 56-yard touchdown run to open the football game, it really set the tone for this one, the way that one played out. And then he turned around and had the big hit on the opening possession of the second half that forced the fumble down around the 2-yard line that Hudson Clement picked up and took in for a score. So I'm leaning towards Braxton Todd for a pair of those awards.
I think Hudson Clement could be electrifying plays of the game. I mean, 2 right around the goal line led to touchdown, or he had 2 touchdowns, both on good play.
Yeah.
I think he could be an honorable mention, but I think Braxton Todd you could easily give it to.
All right, well, maybe we just split the award and give them to both of those guys because both were certainly a part of some big plays in this one. The electrifying play of the game brought to you by Orsini's in Martinsburg, offering everything from kitchen and laundry appliances to great bedding to give you a good night of rest, and Traeger wood-fired grills, and they will bring out the grill master in you. Find out more at their great location at 360 Hack Wilson Way in Martinsburg. Collision of the game, a service of Cody's Body Shop, 851 Wilson Street in Martinsburg. They offer superior customer service at a great price and performed by experienced certified technicians. Find them online at codysauto.com. That's COTYSauto.com or phone 304-901-4777. Player of the game. This one's tough.
This is tough.
Kevon Warren, the way that he ran this offense, he played most of the game at quarterback.
Yeah, that's who I was leaning towards was Kevon Warren. And this isn't a bad thing, but I don't think anybody necessarily outshined anybody else tonight. You look at the last couple of games.
effort.
Yes, exactly. I wasn't saying that in a bad way. I was saying that as there were so many contributors to tonight's game and a team win. That's a hard one, but I think, Kevon Warren could get it tonight.
There you go, Kevon Warren, the player of the game, a service of McCray Heating and Air Conditioning Services, named America's most trusted HVAC brand for 6 consecutive years. Find out more at McCrayWay.com. Martinsburg 13-0 now against Washington, and Matt 2-0 against EPAC schools right now this season. That is 78 consecutive wins in the EPAC.
So still adding to a win streak, just not the one that got broke 2 weeks ago.
All right, next up for Martinsburg, they are scheduled to be at Spring Mills next Friday night at 7. We'll have that play-by-play broadcast for you right here on Talk Radio WRNRN TV 10. And another tough one is Frankfort comes to town to face these Washington Patriots. Then they get Preston at Musselman, home for Hampshire at Jefferson. So you look at that schedule, and there are some really tough ones still in there for this Washington team.
There's some tough ones, but I think I see 2 to 3 more wins in there. I think Hampshire can be a win. I think Preston can be a win.
Yes.
I think Hampshire and Preston should be wins. And I think Jefferson is always that rivalry pick'em game, so I think that could get them to 5-5. And again, 4-6, we've seen in AAA, is sometimes good enough to get you in.
Oh, and especially in a crazy year, the way that this year has been. All right, Colin McLaughlin has scores from around the EPAC and the Mountain State. He'll tell you more about next week's schedule as well. The post-game scoreboard show brought to you by Panhandle Dumpsters, providing residential and commercial pickup. Get your yellow trash can. I was going to say get your trash can, but it's not just
any ordinary trash can. You can't miss those suckers on the side of the road.
It's a big yellow one. I got one in my house. You can find yours by calling 833-DUMP-STIR. That's 833-DUMP-STR. Wraps it up for us here. Again, don't go away. More from the studio after this. For Matt Crawford, John Alderton, for Maria Morris, for Kira Anderson, Donald Kinney, Colin McLaughlin, I'm Matt Miller reminding you, final score tonight from here at Washington. Martinsburg gets the win over the Patriots, 55-0. Until next week. So long, everyone.
Pete Dougherty will put Berkeley and Jefferson County first in the state Senate. Dougherty has spent 4 decades fighting for our children, seniors, and veterans while keeping the Eastern Panhandle safe from crime. As your senator, Dougherty will fight back against the Charleston establishment, assure that police have the funding needed to protect our communities, repair our crumbling infrastructure and high-speed internet, and be a champion for public education. On November 3rd, let's tell Charleston there's a new sheriff in town. Vote Pete Dougherty for state Senate.
My name is Marshall Wilson. I'm the only independent serving in the West Virginia legislature, and I'm running for governor to uphold and defend the Constitution of the state of West Virginia and of the United States, because I want my children to raise their children in a free, just, prosperous, and secure land. If my children have that opportunity, yours will also. Look us up at marshallforwv.com. Please vote S. Marshall Wilson for governor. Thank you very much.
Write in S. Marshall Wilson for governor, paid for by Marshall for WV.
This November, be a part of change and help elect Tony Petrucci to the Berkeley County Council.
With my experience and a conservative background, I feel I can serve the people well. I have maintained a very conservative and practical approach to handle the county. To put it plainly, I want the county to be prosperous and its citizens healthy and safe.
Tony's first term was described as leaving behind a reputation of fairness and fiscal responsibility. And when you vote Petrucci, you're voting for fiscal responsibility, health and safety, citizen involvement, and economic growth. This November, vote Tony Petrucci.
Paid for by candidate.
We all know what a good time looks like. But what is it made of? We can think of a few things. In this case, it's handcrafted food to gather around, never-changing variety of wine, and a Friday night. Do yourself a favor. Experience the good in a good time.
When you do the same thing for 135 years, you learn to do it well. For 135 years, we've been helping families through the hardest times of their lives. That's because we're a family as well. When your family loses a loved one, we're here to help. We're Brown Funeral Home in Martinsburg, Inwood, and Charlestown, Ranson. We're here when you need us.
Like a successful football team, when it comes to choosing an effective representative in Charleston, experience matters. First elected in 2012, Delegate Paul Espinosa is the experienced, fiscally conservative voice Jefferson County needs, standing up for the issues we care about. In this crucial election year, when residents of the 66th District cast their vote for House of Delegates, the choice is clear. Re-elect Paul Espinosa. Paid for by Espinosa for Delegate, Mary C. Espinosa, Treasurer.
Here on the post-game scoreboard show, Colin McLaughlin here. Final score, Martinsburg 55-0 over Washington High School. Our post-game scoreboard looks like this as of right now. In the fourth quarter, the score, Musselman leads Morgantown on the road 42-7. Spring Mills is up on Hedgesville 35-0. Frankfort and Jefferson is actually a very close game there in the fourth quarter right now, score-wise. Only 21-13. Frankfort, who's currently undefeated, to the number 3 team in AA, leading Jefferson, who's 1-2. And lastly, local scoreboard-wise, it is Greenbrier East up big on Berkeley Springs. That is 42-14. So no final scores yet, as it looks like Morgantown just scored against Musselman, so now that one is 42-9, but no big surprises here locally. Here after a short break, about 2 minutes or so, I will look at the rest of AAA. So again, final score for this game was Martinsburg 55, Washington 0. We'll take a 2-minute break here on the post-game scoreboard show on WRNR TV 10.
I'm Storm Charlie Frame, and I'm running to serve the 66th District in the West Virginia House of Delegates. Homegrown in Jefferson County, wife, mother, teacher, and realtor, I understand what the 66th District needs. Investment for safer roads, dependable broadband internet, quality public education, and common sense legislation to attract responsible businesses and protect our natural resources. My opponent, Paul Espinosa, seems to think his job is to protect corporations instead of the interests of the people he represents. I'm Storm Charlie Frame. I can't be bought, and as your delegate, I will work for you.
The Palace Lounge in Martinsburg offers hand-cut, locally sourced steaks, fresh seafood, and sandwiches with great daily specials like 75-cent wings all day Monday, prime rib on Tuesday, New York strip on Wednesday, and chef specials every Friday and Saturday. Ask for the lunch punch card and have lunch on the Palace Lounge on Edwin Miller Boulevard. And don't forget the Big Apple Lounge on Sater Drive in Inwood. Looking to buy a home in the Eastern Panhandle? Having trouble getting your house sold? Then call Chris Ross and the Milestone Real Estate Group at Keller Williams. A Martinsburg High School graduate, Chris knows the local market, and he's proven it as the #1 real estate team in West Virginia in 2019. Milestone Real Estate Group at Keller Williams. Phone 304-579-7349 or go to callchrisross.com. Let's celebrate your real estate milestone together.
Like a successful football team, when it comes to choosing an effective representative in Charleston, experience matters. First elected in 2012, Delegate Paul Espinosa is the experienced, fiscally conservative voice Jefferson County needs, standing up for the issues we care about. In this crucial election year, when residents of the 66th District cast their vote for House of Delegates, the choice is clear. Re-elect Paul Espinosa. Paid for by Espinosa for Delegate, Mary C. Espinosa, Treasurer.
If you need to speak with a lawyer about an insurance claim or motor vehicle wreck, at Mansion Ferretti we rely on 100 years of combined personal injury and trial experience to win your case. There is no charge for meeting with us, and there is no fee unless we win. Mansion Ferretti excels because we are local, experienced in our courts, and always working hard to develop the personal relationship with clients that makes a difference. Call us at 304-264-8505 or go to wvjusticelawyers.com. At Mansion Ferretti, it's about seeking justice for you.
Hey football fans, it's your friendly alarm professional, Ben Copenhaver with Dynamark Atlantic Security. Who do you trust to keep your family and valuables safe? Integrity, trust, and professionalism are all reasons why Dynamark is the choice for home and business security in the Eastern Panhandle. Dynamark is proud to serve the community and be your first choice for alarm solutions. Don't become a statistic of crime today. Phone Dynamark Security to protect your tomorrow. Phone 304-671-2158.
Back here on the post-game scoreboard show, final score, Martinsburg 55, Washington nothing. Colin McLaughlin here on WRNR and TV 10. Looking at the out-of-town scoreboard, I'm going to now go through all of them, so local, AAA, AA, and then single A. So as I mentioned, 55-0, Martinsburg beating Washington. Musselman leads 42-9 over Morgantown. Spring Mills now says 56-0 over Hedgesville, final score there. Still in the fourth quarter, Frankfort leads Jefferson 21-13. Oakland and Wheeling Park tied at 14 apiece in the fourth quarter. Parkersburg and Hurricane. Parkersburg leads 29-28 in the third quarter. Bridgeport up big on Parkersburg South in the fourth quarter, 49-21. Buchanan Upshur and John Marshall. John Marshall was victorious 55-7. Ripley leads Marietta, Ohio 21-12 in the third quarter. Indian Creek, Ohio is up on Brook 21-6. Oak Hill beating Mingo Central 27-18. Woodrow Wilson beating Preston 21-12. University up big against Albert Gallatin there in Pennsylvania, 46-8. Fairmont Senior beating Winfield 51-14. Martins Ferry, Ohio beating Weir 24-20 in the third quarter. Final score from Wednesday, Man beat Mingo Central 28-24. Princeton up on Pikeview 38-6. Lincoln beating East Fairmont in the fourth quarter 32-14. Still at halftime, Wyoming East leads Riverview 28-18. Elkins, beat Grafton 28-10. Braxton is beating Liberty Harrison 20-14 in the third quarter. Biggest blowout of the night in the third quarter, apparently. Clay County up against Webster County 73-0. Kaiser is leading Hampshire 54-0 in the fourth. Liberty Raleigh is up against Independence 36-20 in the fourth. Robert C. Byrd is home, beating Lewis County 48-0 in the third. Greenbrier West is leading Scott 41-0 there in the third quarter. Cabell Midland, 56-20 over Polka. Bluefield is leading Point Pleasant 32-14. Greenbrier East beating Berkeley Springs 42-14. Single A Wise, St. Mary's, and Williamstown. Williamstown leads 20-7. Doddridge County is up on Wirt County 33-7. Logan and Tug Valley at halftime. Logan leads 12-8 in a close one there. Tigard Valley beat Richwood 62-13. Buffalo beating Tyler Consolidated in the fourth right now 32-8. East Hardy up big against Pocahontas County 40-7. Mountain View up on Sherman 31-14 at halftime. Sherman also played Monday, September 28th. They beat Scott 14-8 in that one. Looks like Gilmer County is beating Frontier, Ohio in a close one in the third quarter, 20-18. And then no score updates between Federal Hawking and Hannon, Wahama and Hundred, Trinity and Madonna. But there is score updates here for Midland Trail and Meadowbridge. Midland Trail leads 19-0 at halftime. Monroe Central, Ohio up big against Magnolia, 41-14. Ritchie County up 41-6 right now on Ravenswood. That one is now a final score. South Harrison 16-6 right now against Valley. And then lastly, Fort Fry, Ohio leads Wheeling Central 19-0. Again, tonight's game here on WRNR and TV10 was Martinsburg versus Washington. Martinsburg finally back in the win column, 55-0 over Washington. Martinsburg improves to 2-1 overall. Washington falls to 2-3. We'll take another break here on the post-game scoreboard show. When we come back, it will be upcoming broadcasts here on Talk Radio WRNR.
I'm Storm Shiley Frame, and I'm running to serve the 66th District in the West Virginia House of Delegates. Homegrown in Jefferson County, wife, mother, teacher, and realtor, I understand what the 66th District needs. investment for safer roads, dependable broadband internet, quality public education, and common sense legislation to attract responsible businesses and protect our natural resources. My opponent, Paul Espinosa, seems to think his job is to protect corporations instead of the interests of the people he represents. I'm Storm Shiley Frame. I can't be bought, and as your delegate, I will work for you.
The Palace Lounge in Martinsburg offers hand-cut, locally sourced steaks, fresh seafood, and sandwiches with great daily specials like 75-cent wings all day Monday, prime rib on Tuesday, New York strip on Wednesday, and chef specials every Friday and Saturday. Ask for the lunch punch card and have lunch on the Palace Lounge on Edwin Miller Boulevard. And don't forget the Big Apple Lounge on Sater Drive in Inwood. Looking to buy a home in the Eastern Panhandle? Having trouble getting your house sold? Then call Chris Ross and the Milestone Real Estate Group at Keller Williams. A Martinsburg High School graduate, Chris knows the local market, and he's proven it as the #1 real estate team in West Virginia in 2019. Milestone Real Estate Group at Keller Williams. Phone 304-579-7349 or go to callchrisross.com. Let's celebrate your real estate milestone together.
Like a successful football team, when it comes to choosing an effective representative in Charleston, experience matters. First elected in 2012, Delegate Paul Espinosa is the experienced, fiscally conservative voice Jefferson County needs, standing up for the issues we care about. In this crucial election year, when residents of the 66th District cast their vote for House of Delegates, the choice is clear. Re-elect Paul Espinosa. Paid for by Espinosa for Delegate, Mary C. Espinosa, Treasurer.
If you need to speak with a lawyer about an insurance claim or motor vehicle wreck, at Mansion Ferretti we rely on 100 years of combined personal injury and trial experience to win your case. There is no charge for meeting with us, and there is no fee unless we win. Mansion Ferretti excels because we are local, experienced in our courts, and always working hard to develop the personal relationship with clients that makes a difference. Call us at 304-264-8505 or go to wvjusticelawyers.com. At Mansion Ferretti, it's about seeking justice for you.
Hey football fans, it's your friendly alarm professional, Ben Copenhaver with Dynamark Atlantic Security. Who do you trust to keep your family and valuables safe? Integrity, trust, and professionalism are all reasons why Dynamark is the choice for home and business security in the Eastern Panhandle. Dynamark is proud to serve the community and be your first choice for alarm solutions. Don't become a statistic of crime today. Phone Dynamark Security to protect your tomorrow. Phone 304-671-2158.
Back here on the post-game scoreboard show, Colin McLaughlin right here on WRNR TV 10. Martinsburg victorious over Washington, 55-0 there in Jefferson County. Looks like Musselman Morgantown now a final score, 42-9. And then Spring Mills victorious over Hedgesville, 56-0. However, here are your upcoming broadcasts on Talk Radio WRNR. Tomorrow, it's a full day of football starting at 8:30 in the morning. WVU takes on Baylor. Kickoff at noon, but coverage at 8:30 is when it starts. And then 7 o'clock at night, it is the big NCAA game of the night. Number 4, Georgia at number 7, Auburn. You can listen to that game here tomorrow at 7. And then at 8:30, Baylor and WVU. Sunday starting at 11 a.m. with kickoff at 1. The Baltimore Ravens are at the Washington football team established 1932. And then at 7:30, it's the Philadelphia Eagles at the San Francisco 49ers. So 2 NFC East teams that you can hear on Sunday. And then on Monday Night Football at 7:30, it is the Falcons at the Green Bay Packers. That coverage will start at 7:30 on WRNR. And then on TV 10, Tuesday and Thursday, it will be Martinsburg JV and varsity volleyball. It will be myself along with Jim Klein covering those two games, Tuesday and Thursday for the Martinsburg volleyball team there on TV 10. Lastly, next week's high school football matchups there on October the 9th. Martinsburg, after tonight's victory, 55-0 over Washington, will go to Spring Mills, who won tonight against Hedgesville 56-0 for the Cardinals Bulldogs matchup. It should be a big EPAC game. Those two teams, the top ones in the EPAC. So Martinsburg at Spring Mills. Hedgesville is at Musselman next week. Frankfort is at Washington. And then Jefferson is at University. So those are the EPAC high school football games for next week. You can see Martinsburg Spring Mills on WRNR and TV10 next week, October 9th. And I'll do it here for the post-game scoreboard show. Colin McLaughlin, final score, Martinsburg 55, Washington 0. Make sure to keep watching us next week for more action, and stay tuned throughout the rest of the night and into tomorrow for more football-filled weekends. Again, 55-0, Martinsburg won tonight. You've been listening to the post-game scoreboard show on WRNR and TV10.
Let's go!
And that concludes today's post-game show. Today's game has been brought to you by
Kent Parsons Ford of Martinsburg, The Skinner Law Firm, Smallwood and Small Insurance, Patricia Rucker for West Virginia Senate. Promises made, promises kept. 66th District Delegate Paul Espinosa. Panhandle Dumpsters. Bricks 27 Restaurant. WVU Medicine East. Hagerstown Ford. The Brown Funeral Homes and Cremations. Bechtel Jewelers. The Mirius Group of Financial Advisors. Chris Ross of Milestone Realty. S. Marshall Wilson for West Virginia Governor. Pete Dougherty for West Virginia Senate. The Mansion Ferretti Law Firm. Natalie Tennant for West Virginia Secretary of State. John Perdue for West Virginia Treasurer. Storm Shiley Frame for West Virginia House of Delegates District 66. The Palace Lounge Bar and Grill. Tony Petrucci for Berkeley County Council. Wayne Clark for the 65th District House of Delegates. And the Berkeley County Health Department.
For the best in high school, college, and NFL coverage all season long, keep it tuned in to Talk Radio, WRNR.